Tonight, LeFlore will induct 4 former Rattlers into their Wall of Fame, but the present Rattlers are trying to induct some venom back into the team and get back on track after losing 2 in a row. Across the field awaits the Citronelle Wildcats, riding a 2-game winning streak and ready to pounce on the Rattlers celebration in this 5A Region 1 rivalry. It's week 4 and we're live from the legendary Lad People Stadium for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Al Whedon along with Corey LeBounty in the broadcast booth. Down on the sidelines, we have Kimberly Dunn. And Corey, LeFlore is in the same spot as Murphy was 1 week ago. They need a region win tonight.
Yeah, this game for LeFlore is going to speak volumes. There's only a 7-team region in 5A Region 1, and because of it, LeFlore, with the loss to Faith Academy 1 week ago, put themselves behind the 8 ball. You hate to say this is a must-win, but early in the season, in the second region game, it's one that LeFlore and Coach Anthony Schamberger really would like to have tonight.
And tonight, it's Citronelle's first region game because their first 2 games of the season were played out of region. Matter of fact, we got the guys right there on the field. They're getting ready to do the coin toss. While we're waiting, Corey, let's get to the checklist. The home team tonight is LeFlore. So what's on your checklist for the Rattlers?
The Rattlers must eliminate mental miscues. What do I mean by that? It's penalties. It's missed assignments. They can't have any blown coverages defensively like they did a week ago against Faith Academy. They also must wear down the Wildcats. This is LeFlore's 4th game. This is only Citronelle's 3rd game. They're coming off of a bye week, have played some lower tier teams in regards to classification-wise.
Okay.
So conditioning is going to be a huge factor tonight as it's very warm and humid outside. The Rattlers also must wrap up and make the correct tackles at the line of scrimmage. They must contain this dynamic Wildcat offense led by Joffrey Hutcherson. If they're able to do that, great things will happen for the Rattlers.
All right, visiting tonight is the Citronelle Wildcats. What do you have on your checklist for them?
Citronelle, Wildcats have to win up front. Their offensive line, Coach Barnett spoke about them at media days. He feels that this is a strength. It's a team that has come in and scored bunches of points in their first 2 games, and it all starts up front with the big nasties of the Citronelle Wildcats. They have to have great conditioning. The starters have set out in the second half of their 2 first games because it was blowouts. They blow out both of their opponents in the first 2 games by over 30 points, so they haven't had a lot of reps. And also, they must play with a playoff purpose. In the past, Citronelle last year, they went 5-5. Was not good enough to get them into the playoffs. So this year, they're playing with that playoff purpose, knowing that each and every game, including the games at Ladd Stadium, are huge for them.
All right, Corey, appreciate that. There's the checklist right there tonight. Coin toss has taken place. Citronelle will be receiving the ball momentarily as we get ready for kickoff right here at legendary Lad People Stadium. Had a chance to talk with Citronelle head coach Jason Barnett before the game, Corey. He told us at media days he would know where the team was after week 3. Well, after week 3, that was a bye week last week. And I said, Coach, well, how you looking? He said, Al, we're going to find out tonight. As you just talked about, they had those 2 blowouts earlier. So as you see the Citronelle Wildcats running onto the field, 84 degrees here at Ladd Stadium. It is partly cloudy, some clouds in the sky, 77% humidity, winds out of the east at 7 miles per hour. And Corey, it is a little warm. It's so warm, we're taking it down to the field. Kimberly Dunn's in the house. What you got, Kimberly?
That's right, guys. It is warm out here tonight, but hey, there's a little bit of a breeze, so that makes it feel just a little bit better. And just like you were saying, you talked with Coach Barnett before the game, and he said he didn't know really how he was feeling about his team yet, but they've had a great season so far, and they're coming off of 2 wins, and I think that they're going to perform well tonight. But he said, you know, he's not doubting this LeFlore team. He said they are coming out here, and they are prepared to fight for every bit of the win tonight if they are able to get that. So both of these teams are coming out here ready for a football game.
All right, Kimberly, we are ready as well. The LeFlore faithful in the house. Nice contingent across the way, Corey, from Citronelle coming down for this game tonight.
Yeah, it's important that the Citronelle community embrace this football team. You're 2-0, have an opportunity to start at 3-0. So, of course, the Wildcat faithful are going to make that trip. 43 South coming here to Lad People Stadium. We're ready for a great 5A Region 1 matchup.
There's a look at Coach Anthony Schamberger. He's the offensive coordinator. He's calling the plays. We saw him in week 1 brought out a nice offensive attack. Kicking off for LeFlore, number 7, Ricky Williams, and back to receive for Citronelle, Joffrey Hutcherson, Aaron Belt, and Daniel Manley. Our first time taking a look at Joffrey Hutcherson. We'll talk about him later on. Coach Barnett calls him the hidden secret in South Alabama. So, Corey, we're going to get our first look at him tonight as we're moments away from kickoff here. Nice kick from Williams. And he is taken by Joffrey Hutcherson. And he is met immediately. And that is Derek Dugans wrapping him up. Let's take a look at the Citronelle Wildcats lineup. Sorry, this is LeFlore right here, so we'll have to wait for them. LeFlore hadn't got the ball yet, Corey, so we'll try to get the right graphic up here if we can.
You look at the LeFlore Rattlers being led by number 32, Derek Dugans. You'll call his name all night long.
Oh, sure will. Carson Jarvis right there. He's the quarterback for the Citronelle Wildcats, having him a pretty good year so far. At this point, he has thrown for 3 touchdowns and rushed for 3 touchdowns as well. So keep your eye out on him, number 4. Plus, there's the rest of the lineup for the Citronelle Wildcats. Only one returning offensive lineman, Dawson Dykes. Jarvis takes the handoff, gives it to Hutcherson coming around the edge. He picks up a couple and is brought down by the Rattlers. We'll take a look at the LeFlore Rattlers defense right now coming in front of you. As we talked about it, Derek Dugans made that opening tackle. Keep your eye out on him, 5'1", 220. He's missed everything on defense. The LeFlore Rattlers averaging 233 across that front line, and I believe we had a little word from Coach Sandberger. They typically play a 4-3, but he's going to move to a 3-4 tonight, Corey.
Yeah, just wants to give him a different look. Does not want to let Joffrey Hutcherson break containment. They don't want to let him get to the outside. They want to make him earn everything up the middle.
2nd and 6 for the Wildcats. Handoff back to Hutcherson. Up the middle he goes, breaking tackles, and he gets close to the 45-yard line.
Good job of climbing to the second level. It just goes to show you on that counter play, J. Allen Gray, the free safety, 5'11", 160-pound sophomore, makes the stop. But the Wildcats are able to move the chain, and that's a dynamic counter play, something that Coach Schamberger definitely wanted to stay away from, letting the Wildcats run right up the center in the middle of the defense.
1st and 10 ball on the Wildcats' 44-yard line. Jarvis rolls out, tries to escape some pressure. Pass incomplete. Could not get that completed. It is 2nd down, trying to connect with Daniel Manley.
And that's a good situation. The LeFlore had a jailbreak. Coach Schamberger spoke to us earlier in the week and said he's going to bring the entire line up against this offense led by Carson Jarvis, the 6', 160-pound senior. They said he doesn't react well to pressure that's applied. So in that situation, you saw LeFlore with the jailhouse situation. They tried to run a nice little screen, didn't work.
Jarvis right now 13 for 17 on the season, passed for 242 yards. I told you earlier, he has 3 touchdowns through the air and 3 on the ground, so he's a pretty versatile player as well. But this is 5A Region 1. It's not the 2A action that the Wildcats were up against the past couple of weeks. That pass incomplete. It takes Citronelle to 3rd down, 3rd and 10. Nice run from Hutcherson, but they haven't done anything in these past 2 plays, Corey.
And this is what's going to be critical for the Rattlers. On 3rd down and long distance situations, the Rattlers must make sure they don't let the Wildcats pick up the 1st down. You've already put them behind the sticks. You've made them throw a couple of errant passes. Exactly what defensive coordinator Dwayne Hill in his 2nd year would like to see for the LeFlore defense.
Jarvis and the Wildcats come to the line here. Trips at the top. And they're looking to push this ball out as the Rattlers crowd the line. Jarvis has a man and cannot complete that pass. Incomplete. Tries to get that out to number 13, Brandon Washington. So that'll take Citronelle to a punt. We'll get our first look at Caston Reed, the punter for the Wildcats tonight.
And it's a situation, again, LeFlore did have a blown coverage. The wide receiver was open on that play. Just another bad throw by the Wildcats. Going to bring up 4th down and 10. LeFlore is going to send 2 back, returning for the Rattlers.
J. Allen Gray and Mr. Everything, Christopher Holyfield. Boy, he put on a show for us our first game of the season, Corey. Had a couple touchdowns and even took one back to the house on a pick six. So there's the kick from Reed. It looks like Allen Gray is going to stay away from it. Nice bounce in a row. Look at the Wildcats getting that ball down in it, maybe at about the 7 or 8 yard line. Let's take a look at the impact players. Who do you have for LeFlore tonight, Corey?
It's a situation for the LeFlore Rattlers. You definitely have to look at the quarterback, Hezekiah Belfon. It's going to be important for him to have a high completion percentage for the LeFlore Rattlers, and also Derek Dugans and Chris Holyfield, two young men that'll make a difference. Dugans on defense, Holyfield on offense and defense. We'll probably see him playing both ways tonight.
All right, 1st and 10 for the Rattlers. Ball being spotted at the 8 yard line. There's Hezekiah Belfon right there leading the Rattlers. He's a sophomore. Hands it off and met at the line immediately and knocked down Christopher Holyfield. I don't believe he may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. Corey may have taken a loss there.
Brodarius Frink, the 5'8", 155-pound senior defensive end, does a good job of coming off of his block and making a tackle. No gain for the LeFlore Rattlers on 1st down.
So they give Holyfield a little forward progress. No gain, as you just said. So 2nd and 10 for the Rattlers. Belfon with the handoff once again. Holyfield maybe gets a couple of yards. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the LeFlore Rattlers. You just talked about Christopher Holyfield and Hezekiah Belfon. Rattlers averaging 266 across the front line. Keep your eye out on number 50, Marquez Tatum. He plays both ways, also plays defensive tackle for the Rattlers as well. And the Rattlers, Corey, good height wide receiver. DeAndre Petway, 6'4". Williams McGlaster, 5'10", and Genesis George, 6'1", and Belfon is familiar with these guys. He played middle school ball with them.
3rd down and 8 yards to go now for the LeFlore Rattlers. They're going to have to complete a pass right here as Belfon.
Belfon has time in the pocket, has 2 receivers, overthrows both of them, so that'll send LeFlore to 4th down, and they will be punting right now. Coming in, handling the punting duty is Ricky Williams. He does punting and kicking for the Rattlers.
Pass a little bit too high for Derek Williams McGlasker, the 5'10", 165-pound sophomore. Citronelle was able to flip the field with that punt. Now it's going to make LeFlore go to their special teams and try to put the Wildcats in great field position. They have 2 returners back.
Back is Manley and Peoples to receive for the Wildcats. Nice kick from Williams right there. He gets it off, and it goes out of bounds. Somewhat kind of puts a draw on it. Let's see if they're going to spot this at maybe the 30, 34, 33-yard line of the Rattlers. So not a very good punt, and great field position for the Wildcats. And impact is right there. Let's take a look at the impact players. Who do you have for the Wildcats tonight?
Citronelle, Dawson Stringer, the offensive defensive line. He's senior, number 59, big guy up front. And, of course, Joffrey Hutchinson. He plays both ways for the Wildcats also. We saw him run the ball on that counter earlier, but we'll see him line up at linebacker also.
And it looks like right now we have Hutchinson in a Wildcat there, Corey. Direct snap to him. Up the middle he goes. So maybe Coach Barnett has seen something in the Rattlers defense. Ball does pop out, but they're going to spot him down right there. He picks up maybe 4 or 5 on the play.
Tackle made by Marquez Tatum, the 6'3", 250-pound senior. Comes in with 6 sacks, 11 tackles for loss, and 27 total tackles on the season. Make that number 28. But you look at Joffrey Hutchinson lining up in the Wildcat for the Wildcats, and he's very effective in running the football, whether he's behind center or receiving it from the quarterback.
This time they're going to line up Justin Johnson in the Wildcat. Fake the jet sweep, and Johnston keeps it. Corey, he's got a lot of room to the 20 to 15, gets a block 10-5. He hits the corner for a touchdown, 28 yards. No signal yet. It appeared as if he got into the end zone. I believe it is, Corey, so
it is a touchdown indeed, and it was great blocking down the field. I don't know if we're able to recall on the replay, but it's just a 28-yard situation. You look at the replay, he pulls it down and takes the football, Johnston does, off to the races, gets a block downfield from his wide receiver, and is able to take it in for 6.
Reed on for the extra point here. The kick is up, and it is good. So Citronelle out front, 7-0 over LeFlore. We'll be back with more action. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
October is Parent and Family Engagement Month, and Mobile County Public Schools is sending out an invitation to you. Join us Monday, October 15th at your child's school, and you can pick up report cards as you meet and greet your child's teacher. There will also be parenting workshops to provide resources and materials for students' success. Because when families, communities, and schools work together, students succeed. So mark your calendar, October 15th, for our Parent and Family Engagement Day.
Welcome back to Lab People Stadium. I'm Al Wheaton, joined by Corley Bounty, Kimberly Dunn on the sidelines, and you're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Citronelle on top 7-0 after a 28-yard run by Justin Johnson after that short punt from the Rattlers. Corey, they take advantage of it, and so does Johnson. That's his first touchdown of the season.
Yeah, you were able to flip the field. Where the Wildcats, they were able to hold on defense, and LeFlore was able to stall out, and just like that, the Wildcats were able to march down the field on a gashing 28-yard run, opening up big holes as that Citronelle Wildcat offensive line.
Reed booms this one down about the 5-yard line. Here's Christopher Holyfield. Athletic excitement is what Coach Schamberger calls him. Holyfield, so far on the season, has 2 touchdowns on the ground, 2 touchdowns in the air, 2 interceptions, and ran one back for a pick 6 in that first game against BC Rain. I know they want to try to get him the ball some more, so they're going to spot this one right at about the 26-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Rattlers at their 26, and let's see what Anthony Schamberger is going to come up with, Corey. He's the offensive coordinator.
What you're going to have is you're going to have positive production on early downs. You don't want to put yourself in a long-distance situation, creating 2nd or 3rd and long. The shorter the yardage situation, the easier it is for this big offensive line to pick up yards and to pass block for Hezekiah.
Rattlers in the pistol formation. Hand off to Holyfield. Met at the line. Maybe he'll get credit for one right there, maybe 1.5, so it'll take the Rattlers to 2nd down.
And what the Rattlers are looking to do is if they're able to bounce the ball to the outside and able to turn the corner at all, that's when the speed of this team really kicks in. You look at Christopher Holyfield. He has dynamic track speed. Again, an outstanding basketball player for Jeffrey Pope at LeFlore also. So if he's able to turn the corner and get around the perimeter of this defense, good things are going to happen.
Pass is complete. Hezekiah Belfon gets that one out to Genesis Dortch. Picks up a good game right there. It'll be 3rd and short for the Rattlers.
Good completion, a solid short completion turned into positive yards for the Rattlers, and now it's going to create a 3rd down and 1 yard to go. But that's the type of confidence that you want to instill in Hezekiah Belfon. You get that short completion, 1 completion turns into 2, and next thing you know, he has over 100 yards if that confidence goes through the roof like it needs to.
Builds that confidence, but right there, Corey, mental error, pre-snap penalty, possibly false start against the Rattlers.
One of those things that you want to avoid, mental miscues.
Offense, 5 yards. Replay 3rd down.
All right, there's our first penalty of the ball game. It'll push the Rattlers back 5 yards. It'll be 3rd and long. Tonight's officials: Rick Johnson, Devin Davis, David Howell, Kevin Anders, John Henderson, John Esposito, and Michael Miles on the call tonight. So we'll call about 3rd and 6 for here, or a long 3rd and 5 for the Rattlers. Belfon scrambling out and cannot connect. That pass incomplete, so it'll take LeFlore to 3rd down.
One of those mental miscues by the Rattlers. You go from 3rd down and 1 to 3rd down and 6, which creates a passing situation. LeFlore decides to throw the football. Pass comes up incomplete, but that 5-yard penalty really stalled and hurt the LeFlore drive. They had a little momentum going. Now they're going to have to put their defense right back on the field, and Citronelle is going to be in a good field position after this punt is fielded also.
Williams back to punt for the 2nd time tonight. On the return for Citronelle, Daniel Manley and Aaron Peoples. And this is going disarray for the Rattlers. Williams trying to escape and cannot, and brought down, Corey, at about the 18-yard line.
Self-inflicted penalty. I mean, in situation where it was self-inflicted for the LeFlore Rattlers, a high snap. Now the Wildcats will take over deep in LeFlore's territory.
All right, got to thank our folks over at Jersey Mike's taking care of the crew tonight, Corey. They keeping us fed and getting us all ready for the game and getting the nutritions ready. Jersey Mike's subs, you can't beat them, man.
3 locations, 2 here in Mobile, 1 in Malbus, 1 soon to come in Saraland. Want to thank Mark and Christina Sinclair.
It is a sub above, and right now the Wildcats above the Rattlers 7-0 and looking to extend their lead, handing that ball off to Hutcherson. Around the edge he goes. Gets maybe to about the 12-yard line.
And the bad thing for the Rattlers is that they are missing the primary tackle. They're able to get in the backfield, but just aren't able to wrap up, and that allows the Wildcats to get 2 and 3 additional yards. Now going to bring up a 2nd down and short yardage situation for Citronelle.
Look at the Wildcats band right there. Nice contingent came down from Citronelle to support the Wildcats. As you can see them excited as we approach the 6-minute mark. We still have heat timeouts observed. First dead ball under 6 minutes. So if this play doesn't go into the end zone, we'll probably have a stoppage here. Hutchinson trying to take it to the end zone and stop. He gets enough for the 1st down. So out of this break, it'll be 1st and goal for Citronelle as referee Rick Johnson signals 1st down, but also signals our first heat timeout of the night, Corey. And while we got a break, we got a special shout out. Happy birthday to Teresa Johnson, who is the wife of referee Rick Johnson. You told me she's the ECO. I said, Corey, what in the world is an ECO? Tell him, Corey.
It's the electronic clock operator. Husband and wife combination here tonight at Lad Peoples Stadium. You gotta love it.
Thanks our folks over there at Future Ones for taking care of us tonight with the gear. Always got us looking good. Got the navy blue on tonight. Future Ones, Corey, it is nice, nice, nice. Right now, Future Ones, let's take it to the now. Kimberly Dunn's on the sideline. She has a special guest with her.
That's right. I'm here with the principal from Citronelle High School, Mr. Randy Campbell. How are you doing this evening?
I'm great. It's a good evening for some good football.
Yeah, that's right. So how do you feel about how your team's performing so far tonight?
You know, they're doing great. I've been real pleased at what we've seen so far. They're playing very consistently on offense and defense, and got a lot of enthusiasm. The kids are playing well, and they're being successful and showing some good success. It's good to see.
Yeah, and I know earlier we were talking about how this football team means so much to the community. So can you tell me just a little bit about what this game means to the community in Citronelle?
Yeah, you know, anytime you're in a smaller community in Citronelle, the city of Citronelle, and we call it Wildcat Nation. I mean, you know, the football program is one of the big items, and so you know, we're having a successful program that's drumming up a lot of spirit in the city. I mean, it's always good to see it, and a lot of smiles right now.
Now, I know Citronelle has a lot going on at their high school, so can you tell us a little bit about the Signature Academies?
Yeah, we, last year, Citronelle High School was recognized by the Council for Leaders in Alabama Schools as being a school of distinction, and it was due in large part to our Signature Academy program. Our internship program is second to none. We had 43 kids on paid internships over the summer. We've had over 25 of our kids hired since I've been there into full-time career-level paying jobs with the steel mills and other industries over on 43 Corridor. And it's been, you know, when we talk about college and career ready, we had $6.4 million in scholarships offered to one of our smaller graduating classes, and so you know, college and career ready, we're doing both and doing well, and I gotta give it to my faculty and staff. They're just working their tails off to make sure that these kids have every opportunity to do what they want to do.
Yes, well, it sounds like Citronelle has got it going on. Thank you so much for taking some time and speaking with us tonight.
Thank you for talking with me. Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, Kimberly, appreciate that. Randy Kennedy, the principal up at Citronelle, he called it, Corey, Wildcat Nation, and guess who goes into the end zone there? Joffrey Hutcherson, 12 yards.
Yeah, Randy Campbell really excited about the 13-0 Citronelle lead that they have. As you take a look at the replay, Joffrey Hutcherson right up the middle of this LeFlore defense, scoring 6 more for the Citronelle Wildcats.
Yeah, appreciate that check. Not Randy Kennedy. That's my buddy over at the sports station, Randy Campbell. Caston Reed with the kickoff. J. Allen Gray retrieves it for the Rattlers. Has a lot of room. Gets it up to maybe about the 23, 24-yard line. So it's the Rattlers' third possession here. Corey, if you're Coach Schamberger, what do you have going on in your head? Try to get this Rattlers offense going.
Well, your drive stalled because of a penalty. You went from 3rd down and 1 to 3rd down and 6. Then you had a high snap on a punt situation, which set up a short field for the Wildcats. Not the start that the LeFlore Rattlers really wanted. But again, Hezekiah Belfon, the quarterback, came out and completed a pass on that last drive, which was critical. You would like to see him complete a couple of more right here to get a little confidence. But the LeFlore offense really needs to keep the defense off the field right now.
And off to Holyfield. He's got some room up the middle. He's weaving, scrambles his way close to the first down marker, maybe about 2 yards short. So good run by Christopher Holyfield.
That's a positive play on first down that the LeFlore Rattlers must have. Now you set up a situation to where it's 2nd down and 3 yards to go, a very much more manageable down and distance situation. Now you have an opportunity to give the ball back to Holyfield, or you can go ahead and give the ball to Aaron Emanuel, the other running back in the backfield for the LeFlore Rattlers also.
But on the bootleg going out, surprise, surprise, it's Hezekiah Belfon doing his best Jamarcus Russell impersonation, gets the first down and moves the ball up to the 42.
The first down of the night for the LeFlore Rattlers, just what the doctor ordered. Hezekiah Belfon, listed at 6'2", 225 pounds, lowers his shoulder and had enough all green in front of him to go ahead and lumber to get that first down.
He lumbered and made it. So nice little misdirection, a little slight trickeration there in that formation from Anthony Schamberger and the Rattlers, and they're close to the midfield stripe. 1st and 10, ball on the 42. Holyfield in the pistol. He moves out to the side. They do get the completion. Gets a couple yards. That pass gotten out to DeAndre Petway, Corey.
Petway, the 6'4", 180-pound sophomore, with the completion on the play, just wants to keep that ball a little bit tighter to his body, because as soon as he caught it, it was pretty loose. Able for a Citronelle defender to knock away, so just need to be very careful. Now bringing up 2nd down and 5 yards to go.
Rattlers with trip receivers at the top. Single guy in the backfield, hands that off to Holyfield. Across the midfield stripe, and enough for the first down, Corey. So the Rattlers, their first time into Wildcat territory tonight.
Tackle made by Jamarcus Robinson, the 6'1", 185-pound junior Sam linebacker. But the LeFlore Rattlers were able to get positive yards after contact. Holyfield did not go down after the initial hit, was able to pick up a couple of more, moves the sticks, and a positive game for LeFlore.
And that's important, right? Keep that ball going, keep the sticks moving as well. They fake the jet sweep, keeping that ball. Hezekiah Belfon, Corey, and look at him lowering that shoulder and pounding into the Wildcats defender to get that extra yards. Big run.
And that's what you want to see. I mean, you want to see him lower that shoulder and go forward with it. As you take a look at the replay, Belfon decides to keep the football, and as he's going forward, he just runs over Aaron Peebles in that situation, is able to, again, get positive yards. You mentioned LeFlore crosses midfield for the first time in this first quarter, but bringing and stringing together a series of first downs is important.
Maybe Anthony Schamberger has found something by using Belfon as a secondary big back as well. I believe that's enough. Holyfield has another first down, puts the ball at the Wildcats' 35-yard line, and the LeFlore drive continuing to move forward.
And that's what you wanted to see happen, because you go from again, I'm going to mention it, 3rd down and 1 on the previous possession to 3rd down and 6. It really changed everything for LeFlore play calling. As we know, Anthony Schamberger is the offensive coordinator for LeFlore. Good play calling on this series. Good execution of the play calling by the Rattlers.
Belfon back to throw. He's got a man. That ball incomplete. Could not get it with DeAndre Petway. Talked about him earlier, one of those tall receivers. Petway, 6'4", 180 sophomore. Same classification as Belfon. They're very familiar with each other. Just couldn't hook up right there.
The good thing about that play is he put it, the only person that could catch it was DeAndre Petway. He wasn't going to let the defender intercept that football. Good offense, better defense in that situation, but I like the play calling on first down by Coach Schamberger.
Take a shot right there, yeah. 2nd and 10 for the Rattlers. Man in motion here. Fake the jet sweep. They give it to Holyfield. He's got room up the middle. He's still moving, Corey. Wildcats wrap him up. Nice 8-9 yard gain there for Holyfield.
anytime you're able to get into the linebacker, the secondary area of Citronelle, that's a great thing. Holyfield has that great burst, takes the initial hit, spins off of it, and again spins forward. Going to bring up 3rd down and 1 yard to go for LeFlore. Want to make sure they don't get a penalty or have one of those mental miscues right here on 3rd and short.
Look at Citronelle coach there, Jason Barnett, on the sideline with the Wildcats checking out the action. Belfon getting some pressure. He escapes it. He's got the size. Can he just lumber? And Corey, he does. I mean, the kid comes in at 6'2", so he could probably just fall and get that yard the Rattlers needed, and it looks like he picked it up.
Harold Rocker, the 240-pound sophomore, comes in from his defensive tackle position, but is not able to sling Belfon backwards. Belfon, with that big momentum, goes forward and is able to move the sticks for the Rattlers. That was a big pickup by the LeFlore Rattlers, continuing to chew time off of this clock, allowing the defense to stay on the sidelines and rest also.
All right, we're approaching 1 minute remaining here in the first quarter. Handoff to Holyfield. He picks up a couple. It looks like Coach Schamberger has found a little combination, Corey, a little mixing of the run and the pass to kind of keep the Wildcats on their feet here.
And it opens up the playbook. Anytime you're not in a 2nd or 3rd down and long situation, now the Rattlers bringing up 2nd down and 7 yards to go. They're about to work themselves into the red zone area to where, again, there's a different set of play calls when you get down inside the 20-yard line.
DeAndre Petway at the bottom of the screen right there, just above the graphic. Keep your eye out on him. 2nd and 7. They decide to hand it off, feeding that rock back to Holyfield. Can he keep the legs going? 1st down. Rattlers inside the red zone. Ball looked like it's going to be placed about the 18. I'm sorry, about the 18-yard line. I'm sorry. 13-yard line, Corey.
And it is going to be enough for another Rattler 1st down. On this particular drive, LeFlore has gotten at least 5 1st downs, have chewed over 5 minutes off of this clock, which we talked about the conditioning for the Citronelle Wildcats. They haven't had an opportunity to play a lot of games. This is only the 3rd game of the season as they're coming off of a bye. So the longer LeFlore is able to sustain drives, the better it is for the LeFlore Rattlers.
Looks like we have a timeout right now being called on the field. Looks like LeFlore has called timeout. 1st and 10, ball on the 13-yard line. So they have enough to get a 1st down. They don't have to score to continue this drive. So, Corey, very impressive drive right here. As you talked about it, chewing up a lot of clock since we came out of that heat timeout, and LeFlore gets the ball back after that last Citronelle score.
Citronelle defensive coordinator Jason Morgan is giving up 6.5 points per game this season. They've, again, played 2 games. And against this LeFlore offense, LeFlore comes in averaging 14.7 points per game.
Right.
Has a 0 on the board so far, but this drive that they're stringing together has been very impressive.
Take it down to the sidelines. Check back in with Kimberly Dunn.
Hey guys, well, I just wanted to let you know, Al, I owe you one because it has started raining out here on the field, and hopefully that will not affect these players or this football game. Hopefully it will stop and just sprinkle a little bit, but it is getting wet down here. Also, I want to let you know what it feels like here on the sidelines. These players and this team, you know, LeFlore, I was feeling really good for them because when they came out, it's like they came out with a fire and they came out blazing. But then they started kind of getting lazy and sleepy on us because if you look on these sidelines, they are just sitting down and they need to get some of that zeal back in them to win this football game.
Thank you, Kimberly. I told you needed your rain jacket tonight, Corey. We're in the South. You never know, especially in Mobile, Alabama. Come on.
It's a situation that's going to bring up the end of the quarter, Al, but you're exactly right. We've been the last couple of weeks being caught by the rain. Looks like it's going to make the 3rd week in a row where we're going to get precipitation.
All right, that's the end of one. We'll be back for the 2nd quarter, see if the Rattlers can punch it in and get their first score. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
At Mobile County Public Schools, we believe it starts with us. That's why we offer Signature Academies.
Hello, I'm Jordan Clark, and I'm in the Health Service Academy at John L. LeFlore Magnet High School. My future career is to be an obstetrician-gynecologist. With this academy, I'm learning firsthand from people already working in the industry. Shadowing them on the job really makes me want to study hard and work harder towards my career goals.
Signature Academies are open to all students in Mobile County Public High Schools. Visit mcpss.com.
As Alabama's first and largest school system, Mobile County Public Schools prides itself
on the high quality of education we provide our students. We have been successful over the years in raising our graduation rates.
And have been recognized nationally for closing achievement gaps.
We believe that our primary focus is to educate all students to become productive citizens.
This is our commitment to them and to you.
Welcome back to legendary Lab Peoples Stadium. You're watching the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Citronelle on top 13-0 over LeFlore. I'm Al Wheaton, joined in the broadcast booth by Corey LeBounty. Down on the sidelines is Kimberly Dunn, taking in some of those slight mystical showers, Corey, as we see right here on the screen. She does not have her raincoat. I told her one of the guys on the sideline may have a poncho for her or something, but you're in Mobile. I mean, we lead the continental U.S. in rainfall. You got to have your jacket.
And I tell you, the LeFlore Rattlers are hoping to rain on the Citronelle Wildcats parade here in the second quarter. Going to be important for LeFlore to have some type of positive scoring right here, whether it's a field goal, whether it's a touchdown. It will be right what the doctor ordered if they're able to get points on the board.
Ball right there at the 11-yard line. So as I said earlier, as we were wrapping up the first quarter, the Rattlers can get a first down without having to score. So the playbook pretty much kind of wide open right there for Coach Sandberger as referee Rick Johnson is about to whistle us game ready here. Look like they're trying to clear some things up before we mark this ball ready to play. All right, here we go. Trips at the bottom of the screen. Holyfield behind Belfon in the pistol formation here. 2nd and 8. What's the call going to be? They're giving that rock back to Holyfield. They've been running him a lot tonight, Corey, getting some pretty good results.
Trying to go between left guard and left tackle. That's your strength. Marquez Tatum anchors that left line right there. Only able to get a couple of yards, positive yards. The good thing is, Al, when you're down in the red zone area, you're still able to pick up a first down before you score a touchdown. And that's something that I know the Rattlers now dialed in at 3rd down, 6 yards to go. Want to try to get that first down also.
Ball sitting squarely on the 10-yard line. Great camera work from our guys and girls in the truck here tonight, giving us the pictures and images from Ladd Stadium. Little tight formation there on the short side of the field. 3 receivers at the top. Belfon has a lot of time, and Corey, he is wrapped up. You can call that one a coverage sack as the Wildcats bring him down.
Just not enough time. Good pressure by the Wildcat defense. Broderius Frink, the 5'8", 155-pound senior, comes in and is able to take down Belfon. Probably pushes the Rattlers out of field goal range position. Now going to bring up 4th down and 13 yards to go. The Rattlers are going to call a timeout to discuss exactly where they want to go offensively.
You talked about it late in the first quarter, the depth for Citronelle. At Media Days, Coach Jason Barnett of Citronelle said depth issues, we're good, 1-16, but from 17 to 30 is the area of concern. We can play with most teams as long as we can remain healthy, but finding depth is our problem. So as you can see, the Rattlers leaned on them a lot in that first quarter there, Corey. So we'll see how the depth plays out for Citronelle. When you need to know what's happening in Mobile County Public Schools, watch Inside Education with Helena Tyler for all the latest school news and in-depth reports on issues that affect your child right here on the MCPSS TV network. Coming out of the timeout, you alluded to it before, Corey, 4th and 13, ball on the 16 for the Rattlers. Electing not to go for a field goal here, probably out of their way. So big play. We'll see what the call is going to be. What would you say we can look out for here?
Well, you definitely want to go to the end zone in this situation. I would like to go to the 6'4" DeAndre Petway, a jump ball situation. He has one-on-one coverage at the bottom of your screen. That's probably where I would go. Now they're bringing a receiver to put him in the slot, but I would go to the end zone to Big Petway.
The yard to get is the 4-yard line for a first down. Holyfield wide open. He brings it in. Corey, that appears to be enough for the first down, and he does get it from what we can look at right here at our angle at Ladd Stadium.
Again, you found a way to get your playmaker to football, and that's going to be number 1. Chris Holyfield comes out of the backfield. He's going to be able to pick up enough for the Rattler first down. That's a huge play. I give credit, though, to the offensive line, giving Belfon an opportunity to throw that football, and Holyfield definitely came away with the catch. 1st and goal for the LeFlore Rattlers.
Mark that one down, 10:54. The Rattlers pick up a first down after 4th and 13 on the Wildcat 16-yard line. Ball at the 2. And the Rattlers looking to punch this one in to get on the board. They give it back to Holyfield. He dodges a couple, leans over, touchdown LeFlore. The Rattlers are on the board.
That's huge. That's right what Anthony Schamberger, the head coach and offensive coordinator, wanted. They were able to string together a very, very long offensive drive to end the first quarter. It carried over here to the second quarter, probably taking some 8 minutes off of the clock, which left the Wildcat defense very tired.
Holyfield picks up his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Rattlers coming out to go for 2 here, Corey. They're not going to go for the PAT. They're going to go for the 2-point try. Like they have Uncle Mo in the car with them. And, oh, he's in the car, but no, cannot haul it in for the 2-point conversion. Tried to get that ball out to Demir Smith. Couldn't bring the biscuit into the basket, Corey. So right now 13-6 Citronelle on top. And while we got a break, let's take a look at both of these coaches in our coaches comparison. New coach right here, Jason Barnett, first year at Citronelle, 2-0 record. He loves 80s rock and is a history buff. And Corey, if you haven't met him, I know you can testify to this. If he were not a coach, he would definitely be in sales. He's got a high motor.
He does have a high motor on those sidelines, pumping up Wildcat Nation in his 4th year at Citronelle. His first as the head coach, doing a wonderful job. He was the former defensive coordinator.
That's right, that's right. On the flip side, Anthony Schamberger heading into his 7th year here at LeFlore, former coach at Rain High School. He's the 2nd longest coach in the history of LeFlore. Surprising to hear that. We know for 22 years, the late William Bill Jesse was the coach at Tomanville, LeFlore, and he played his college ball at Alabama State. Coach Anthony Schamberger and Jason Barnett on our coaches comparison. So the Rattlers on the board, 13-6 right now. Williams about to kick this ball off back to receive for Citronelle, Daniel Manley and Aaron Peoples. I'm sorry, not Peoples, but also Jeffrey Hutchison, Aaron Belt, and Daniel Manley. I'm sure they want to kick it away from Joffrey Hutchison. Ball brought back by Citronelle. Very good run by Aaron Peoples right there. And that's going to set Citronelle up with great field position, Corey.
Aaron Emanuel on the stop for the LeFlore Rattlers. You're exactly right. That was a directional kick with the intentions of keeping it away from Joffrey Hutcherson, but a very nice return nonetheless by the Wildcats. Aaron Peebles puts the Wildcats right at the 43-yard line, and let's see what the Wildcats now are able to do.
All right, back taking a look at Carson Jarvis coming back out leading the Wildcats. 2 touchdowns tonight from them early in the contest in the first quarter to jump out to a 13-0 lead. LeFlore just got their first score to kind of get close at 13-6. Hutchison with the stiff arm around the edge. Corey outside the numbers. Look at him bullying the Rattlers to about the 35, 34-yard line. Coach Barnett said he's the South Alabama's hidden secret.
Let's take a look at that replay if we're able to, because that's like a 25-yard gain ripped off by Joffrey Hutcherson. If you let him break containment and get to the outside, you're going to be in trouble. It was a stiff arm given to J. Allen Gray as he came up to make the tackle, but Hutcherson's going off the field, asked for a breather in that situation, but it does pick up a big first down for the Wildcats.
The ball sitting squarely at the 35-yard line. One play and the Wildcats are in Rattler territory, looking to extend their lead. Slight drizzle still coming down here at Ladd Stadium, but that's not stopping the mighty marching LeFlore Rattlers in front of us, Corey. They're lighting up the sidelines here with the music as the Wildcats try to light up offense, and we get another flag tonight here. Maybe 2 yards on that gain.
You look at the stop, Derek Dugans also in on the tackle for the LeFlore Rattlers. Looks like Oswin Endlers on the stop also. No, that is Oswin Endlers on the stop along with Derek Dugans, but we'll see what the flag is all about. May back the Wildcats up.
Rattlers are clapping personal foul face mask against the Wildcats. Very odd. We rarely see that on an offensive play, Corey. Typically, that's a defensive call.
Yeah, you normally see hands to the face, but we'll see right here what our call is.
Personal foul, face mask on the offense. 15 yards, spotted a foul. Replay, second down.
So that'll push the Wildcats back. It'll be 2nd and long. Don't forget halftime. The Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge is coming up. Kimberly Dunn will try to hook up a lucky spectator with a Chick-fil-A prize pack after she asks the trivia question, and hopefully they'll get it right and they'll get taken care of. So stick around for halftime. The Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge will be headed your way. 2nd and long, about 23 for the Wildcats. I'm sorry, 1st and long. Man wide open on the sidelines. Carson Jarvis gets it out to the receiver, and he is almost on the way to the end zone. 10-5. That is a touchdown for Citronelle. Daniel Manley hauls it in, Corey, and the Wildcats extend their lead.
And I think I see a flag on the play, which is huge. If it's going to be called against Citronelle, maybe some type of holding, because that would negate a 48-yard touchdown.
52-yard, I believe, possibly. But you're right, where that flag is thrown, that's typically holding area there, Corey. But it looks like they are marching it back. So that one, and that penalty is against Citronelle. So I'm pretty sure Coach Jason Barnett is upset right now.
Maybe a legal formation called against the Wildcats, but you hate that if you're a Citronelle fan, because the Rattlers had a mental miscue and blew an assignment and gave up a 48-yard touchdown.
On the offense, 5 yards, previous spot, replay 1st down.
So not a hold, but a false start against Citronelle. Wow, so it'll back them up. And, Corey, this drive where they were down to about the 35-yard line of LeFlore, the past 2 to 3 plays have been knocked back due to penalties.
Yeah, it's going backwards, quick, fast, in a hurry. And if you're a coordinator right here on 1st down, you really don't have a call for 1st down and over 35 yards to go. If you're LeFlore, you don't want to let any of the Wildcat wide receivers get behind you like they just did on that previous play, because just like that, the Wildcats were able to get a 48 yards, a touchdown call back.
So 1st and a 3rd of the field here for the Wildcats. Jarvis hauling off again, throws that one up top. It is incomplete, so they'll take them to 2nd down, try to get it out to Aaron Belt.
DeAndre Bumpers, the defensive back, 5'8", 160-pound junior, tried to play a little bump and run with the wide receiver at the line of scrimmage. A very dangerous game to play because he did not have any help over the top. And if that ball is inbounds and it's not out of bounds thrown, it's a situation where the Wildcats are going to walk in for a touchdown. You don't want to let any of these Wildcat wide receivers get behind you. You don't want to try to get into a tug-of-war match or a shoving match with them on the outside. The Rattlers can't afford to have a busted coverage right here.
2nd down for Citronelle. Jarvis rolls out to his right, decides to keep it, heads back out again, and no, he's not going anywhere. The Rattlers all over him. And that pushes Citronelle further back, Corey.
Yeah, it's going to bring up probably a 3rd down and close to 36 yards to go for the Citronelle Wildcats. But if you're the Rattler fans right now, you're happy that the defense has got energized. You want to make sure that you don't commit any silly penalties right here to give the Wildcats additional free yardage, because you've been able to flip the field in your behalf off of making good defensive stops.
So it is 3rd, and we'll call it, Corey, 3rd and forever for Citronelle. They need to get to the 25-yard line of LeFlore to pick up a 1st down. So Jarvis just going to keep it on the ground. Wide open up the middle he goes. Almost back to the original line of scrimmage. It gets to about the 37-yard line. So it'll be 4th down for Citronelle. And that was an interesting series of plays right there.
Yeah, but the good thing is it brings up 4th down and probably about 13 yards to go. You're able to pick up positive yards. Now it becomes 4th down and manageable for the Wildcats, and that's a situation that I know offensive coordinator Carl Herring, he can come up with a play on 4th down and 15 versus 3rd down and 36.
And as you said earlier, when this drive somewhat first started, they got a pass completed out to Manley. The flag brings it back, false start. I mean, that was a significant gain. And right now, Coach Barnett is going to take a timeout at 7:36 remaining right now to discuss things. Corey, this, as I said, this series has been quite interesting for the Wildcats.
Yeah, it didn't start off the way that they would like it to with the penalties, but they were able to get a touchdown that was called back. A blown coverage by the LeFlore Rattlers. A 48-yard touchdown was negated. And in that situation, you start going backwards, did the Citronelle Wildcats. Now you're at 4th down and 15 yards to go. You call a timeout if you're head coach Jason Barnett to say, hey, guys, I think we can get this first down, because the biggest thing is just going to come down to execution on this play.
All right, let's take a look right now at our 7A standings, Region 1 in the area. We're going to get that up, take a look at it while we have a break. There are 7A Region 1 standings right now. Davidson, Fairhope, Theodore, McGill, all undefeated in the region, but they all have one loss. That loss for McGill outside of the region as well. And Mir, Montgomery, Foley, Baker, Bryant, and Murphy right now in the bottom half of the bracket trying to keep things positive. So right now it's 4th and 15 for the Wildcats. Jarvis escaping the pocket. Up the middle he goes, but that's not going to do it. It will be ball over on downs to LeFlore. So the LeFlore defense stands, Corey, but also had a little help from the Citronelle offense with a couple of mental miscues there.
Big stop by Oswin Endlers, the 5'9", 235-pound junior, preventing the Wildcats from picking up that first down.
Oh, yeah. Take a look at the 6A Region 1 standings. And some people say probably the toughest region in the state of Alabama. Overall, you see the records right there, but in the region is what really matters. Gets you to the playoff. Blunt, Saraland, Spanish Fort, and St. Paul's undefeated. Big game tomorrow night up at Blunt. They'll be hosting St. Paul's as well. That should be a big one. Baldwin County, Robertsdale at 1-1, and Daphne Gulf Shores Reign, they are winless in region play, and Gulf Shores and Reign winless on the season. 1st and 10, ball on the 35. Hezekiah Belfon with Holyfield in the backfield. Gets that one out. It's incomplete as the Rattlers take over at the 7:22 mark and try to run some more clock, maybe tie this ball game up if they can.
Intended for Genesis Dortch was that pass, and what's important right here is for the Rattlers to try to chew off some more clock and keep that Citronelle Wildcat defense on the field.
We're in 5A Region 1 tonight, and here it is right in front of you. Corey, who would have thunk it? Faith Academy 1-0, 2-1 overall, leading the region right there. You have Jackson, Viger, Citronelle, and LeFlore looking for some region wins. I'm sorry, Citronelle, LeFlore, Satsuma, and Wilcox Central. Viger got a win last Saturday night, not Friday. They had to host Wilcox Central because Wilcox Central didn't have any power at the stadium. They played a game Saturday night over at Pritchard.
The Wolfpack looking mighty, and they're rolling right now as there's going to be a flag on the play as Javante Williams McGlasker on the run for the Rattlers. Looks like it's going to come back probably due to a holding.
I agree with you on that. Rick Johnson discussing it right there with the official, and we'll get the call. As you can see, the drizzle's coming down. Not a heavy rain, but just a little slight rain there. Personal foul, face mask, Corey. That will definitely put you back 15 yards.
That's the second time tonight we've seen that in the trenches, a face mask called. Like you said, normally you don't see that called in the interior situation.
Face mask on the offense. 15 yards from spot of the foul. Replay 2nd down.
There's a look at the 4A Region 1 standing. Escambia County, Hillcrest, UMS Wright, and they're still on the road defending 4A state champion. Big game tomorrow night. UMS Wright and Williamson will meet, Corey, so that'll be a huge one right here happening in the Mobile area.
Williamson have an opportunity to move down to 4A. We're going to see how they match up with Terry Curtis's stingy defense.
Oh, yeah. So 2nd and 20 for the Rattlers, handing this ball off to Holyfield. Tries to spin out of the tackle and cannot stop behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down in this series. This drive is going nowhere fast for Anthony Schamberger's Rattlers.
Brodarius Frank has been very active from his defensive end position, the 5'8", 155-pound senior, making a lot of plays for the Citronelle Wildcats. 3rd down and 20 yards to go for LeFlore. You want to try to pick up half of these. With that rain coming down, we know it's going to be a slippery ball situation. We've seen them go to the wheel route, and Christopher Holyfield out of the backfield the last time they were in a situation. So now Holyfield's coming out of the backfield and getting to the slot.
3 receivers at the top, 2 at the bottom. Belfon releases and catches it, throws it out. Nice pitch and catch to Christopher Holyfield. Not enough to get the first down. Gets past the original line of scrimmage, and it'll take LeFlore to 4th down.
Very nice design play by Anthony Schamberger and the Rattlers. A great throw by Hezekiah Belfon. As you look at the route that was run by Chris Holyfield, comes from that slot position, and now it's going to bring up 4th down and probably 6 yards to go for the Rattlers, and they're going to take a timeout. It's going to be a heat timeout.
Yeah, we're going to do the heat timeout. So while we have a break, Corey, we're going to bring in a visitor here. We got Miss Krista July. She's going to stop by and talk about Signature Academies. We're going to have a heat timeout. It looks like official referee Rick Johnson took it about 6 seconds early, but hey, we're not going to complain. We're just going to get Miss July in here and ask you how you're doing. Welcome to the game tonight, Signature Academies. It's a new year, a lot going on. Tell us what's happening with the Mobile County Public School System.
Yes, thank you for having me here. We have our 8th grader showcase. It's called our Signature Academy Showcase that will take place on October 16th at the Mitchell Center from 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. And this is for any 8th grader in the district that's interested in learning about the Signature Academies and what each of our high schools have to offer.
Right. Now, each one does a different specialty. So I know we have 12 high schools, but
Yes.
if you can get them in right quick, talk about the different variations of academies that we offer.
Well, our academies run from welding to aviation and aerospace, engineering, biomedical, or CNA areas and academies as well, and we really try to make sure that we're reaching the gamut of students and student interests. And so this is a chance for parents to come to one location and see all that each of our high schools has to offer, as well as talk with additional services such as student services, transportation, counseling, all in one place as they make this transition.
All right, we're speaking with Krista July, Mobile County Public School System. She's talking about Signature Academies. Okay, let's put you on the spot. LeFlore and Citronelle, what are their two Signature Academies?
So Citronelle is advanced manufacturing, and LeFlore is law, public safety, and health science.
Okay, I don't have a child in high school, nor do I have a child in middle school, but you know what? Magically, I have one. What grade do they have to be in to get into a Signature Academy?
Well, we want them to be in 8th grade to start having those conversations and make a decision, because we want you to start in the high school of your choice in your 9th grade year.
All right, one last question. When they come out to the Mitchell Center, do the parents need to bring anything in particular to learn more or say get registered or get involved with it?
No, they only need to bring their questions. We allow you to walk around the facility and talk to as many schools as you like to make sure that you feel comfortable taking that next step.
All right, give them the date again, but also how could they contact you or the school system about Signature Academies as well?
Sure, the date is October 16th from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. at the Mitchell Center, and I can be reached at 221-4054.
All right, Miss Krista July, we appreciate you stopping by, talking about Signature Academies, and good luck for the showcase coming up, and maybe we might get you back on again before the showcase happens. How about that?
Sure, I'd love to.
All right, thanks so much. Action taking place on the field right now. LeFlore getting the ball. I'm sorry, Citronelle with the ball right now, trying to drive to pick up another score. Carson Jarvis here on a big play here for the Wildcat score.
And on 4th down and 6, the LeFlore Rattlers were not able to convert. A turnover on down. Citronelle takes over, and LeFlore brings the house in a blitz situation. And because of it, Citronelle was able to get the ball to number 45 out of the backfield, Tyler Jennings. He's able to pick up a huge play for the Wildcats, puts them in the Rattler territory right at the 30-yard line of LeFlore.
Jarvis right there waiting for the snap. Only one back in the backfield with him. Hands it off to Justin Johnson. He bounces off a Rattler trying to escape. Gets to the numbers. But Corey loses the ball. Is he down or is that a fumble?
I think the football was possibly coming out. It'll be an interesting situation. I know we don't have replay available here because Coach Schamberger and them decided not to go with that system. They're going to rule the runner down, but it'd be interesting to take a look at that. There's also going to be a flag on the play. You look at him bouncing to the outside was Johnston, and Johnston, as he's going down, the ball is not coming out. His knee's going to be down, and he is down. So it's a situation, though, because he was down, the penalties are also going to be called against Citronelle.
So that will push them back to about the 40-yard line. So it'll be 2nd and 20 here for the Wildcats. Great job, camera work right there from the production crew getting us that replay. 13-6 Citronelle on top as we inch closer to halftime. Don't forget the Chick-fil-A halftime trivia challenge headed your way. Jarvis with a little misdirection, decides to keep it. Corey, he's got a gap, he's got a hole. He's at the 20 to 15 to 10 to 5 and pushed out of bounds, maybe about the 6-yard line. Big run by Carson Jarvis from his own 40-yard line.
Was able to break the containment of the LeFlore Rattlers, and because of it, you look at the wheels of Carson Jarvis. He's able to turn that corner, and the defensive back, great block down the field by Aaron Peebles, who opens it up for his quarterback, puts the Citronelle Wildcats at about the 6-yard line, where it will be 1st and goal to go.
Pushed out of bounds by J. Allen Gray. Touchdown saving tackle right there. But the Wildcats inside the red zone is 1st and goal, ball at the 6-yard line. Jarvis not unfamiliar with the end zone. He scored it on the ground 3 times. And guess who's in the Wildcat, Corey? Joffrey Hutcherson. They go with the jet sweep, and it looks like it's going to be a touchdown for Citronelle. Jamarcus Robinson with a 6-yard run, and the Wildcats extend their lead.
And the LeFlore Rattlers got caught looking at the eye candy. The eye candy was Joffrey Hutcherson. Everybody cued on him. Great offensive call by Carl Herring, the offensive coordinator by the Wildcats, with that jet sweep. Now they're going to decide whether they want to go ahead and go for 2 or go ahead and kick the extra point. With the swinging gate formation coming back to the original line of scrimmage, now the Wildcats place kicker will come on, Caston Reed, to attempt the point after.
He missed one earlier, so he's 1 for 2 tonight on his PATs, and it's the old fake, Corey. They give it to him, and they're going to get the 2 points as Reed takes the pitch from the holder, and it is 2 points for the Wildcats as they extend the lead 21-6 and get those 2 points back.
Al, that's fabulous special teams play. You practice that over and over and over again. You look at the holder. He flipped that ball over his head without even looking. It's very reminiscent of the Mad Hatter, Les Miles, few years ago at LSU. He made that call several times, and as we take a look at the replay, the holder flips it over his head. The holder is Carson Jarvis, does a great job with the timing, is able to get it in to the kicker, Caston Reed. 2-point conversion executed to perfection by the Citronelle Wildcats.
Perfect execution. Let's take a look at some of the scores from last week involving Mobile County Public Schools. We were here for the Murphy-Fairhope game. Fairhope took that one out 38-6. Tomorrow night, big game in Fairhope as the Buccaneers will host Theodore. They were all over Foley last week, 51-0. So that's going to be an early season jostling of who wants that number 2 or number 1 seed. Davidson all over Baker Friday night, 27-7. MGM picks up another win, Corey, 7-0 over Bryant. Blunt all over Rain, 38-6. Faith Academy beats the Rattlers last week, 38-18. A lot of people saw that as a surprise. Williamson, 38-6 over Clark County. And we talked about it earlier, Viger and Wilcox Central. That game was played at Pritchard Stadium last Saturday night. Wilcox Central had a loss of power at their stadium, so they had to move the game to Pritchard, and Viger came out on top 45-0. J. Allen Gray tries to get going and cannot, brought down at the 15-yard line. So 21-6, the Rattlers down. Less than 4 minutes remaining in the second half. If you're Anthony Schamberger, what are you looking to call here, Corey? You need some motivation. You want to go into the locker room positive right now, not on the negative side.
Well, what you want to do if you're the LeFlore Rattlers is you were able to string together 5 or 6 first downs at the end of the first quarter, starting the second quarter. That took a lot of time off the clock. You were very effective throwing the short pass as well as running the football. Chris Holyfield and also Hezekiah Belfon was able to get out of the pocket and pick up first down yards running the football himself. So now with Citronelle kind of laying back a little bit in this 4-3 defense, it's going to be important that the LeFlore offensive line blow the Wildcat defensive line off of the ball if you're going to run it.
First attempt ball at the 15. Schamberger calling for passes for the Rattlers here, and Belfon is brought down and sacked behind the line of scrimmage. That's a 5-yard loss.
Just held the ball a little bit too long. That clock in your head has to go off, and you have to get rid of that football. You do not want to take a sack deep in your own territory. That backs the Rattlers up 5 yards. Now it's going to be 2nd down and 15 yards to go for LeFlore from their own 10-yard line.
Notice the clock stopped momentarily there, Corey, but now it's back to running under 4 minutes. Belfon setting the play up here for the Rattlers, backed up against their own goal line. Handing that ball off up the middle, getting a couple yards for the Rattlers. Takes them to 3rd down.
Javante Major, the 5'9", 175-pound senior, getting the call. Only able to pick up a couple. It's going to bring third down, and the referee's going to spot it right at 14 yards to go.
Not exactly this series I'm sure the Rattlers had in mind right here, getting this ball back after that big drive by Citronelle and the 2-point trick play to get the extra points. And LeFlore backed up against their own end line. Belfont a little high, cannot connect on the crossing pattern to Petway. And Corey, it's fourth down already with 3 minutes remaining, less than 1 minute used on there, and LeFlore looking to punt this ball to Citronelle.
A situation where the LeFlore Rattlers had to squeeze that pigskin out. They needed to come away with that catch, because if he catches that football, he's still running down the field right now, going into that South Alabama end zone. But it's going to bring up a punting situation for LeFlore. Fourth down, 13 yards to go is what the official call is going to be. They had a high snap on their previous punt, which led to Citronelle points. Right here deep in your own territory, that's the biggest thing. You want to make sure you have a great snap from long snapper to kicker. You don't care if the ball goes 15 or 20 yards. You just want to make sure that it does not go over his head, putting the Citronelle Wildcats in better territory.
But you also want to make sure you execute correctly, and Anthony Schamberger decides to call a timeout and talk to his young men right now. Corey, he's going to give them a little instruction, just like you can get some instruction. Join Homeroom with Renee Phillips and find out the latest homework tips and what's happening inside the schools and classrooms. It's Homeroom with Renee Phillips right here on the MCPSS TV network. I think it's a smart move right here for Anthony Schamberger to call the timeout. Williams was lined up on the goal line ready to take the snap for that punt. I think he just needs to calm them down and say, hey, this is what's going on. This is what's in front of us, so we don't make a crucial mistake and give up 6 right here, Corey.
Yeah, you regroup the troops, and that's exactly what that timeout was able to do. You're looking at punter Ricky Williams now lined up in his own end zone for this punt, and if he's able to put toe to leather, the Wildcats have a situation to where they have 2 returners in place, Aaron Peebles as well as Daniel Manley. They should be able to have good field position with 2 timeouts remaining with 3 minutes here in the second quarter left.
Rattlers out of timeouts. Williams right inside the goal line there. And that block is that kick is somewhat tipped and blocked by the Wildcats, and bringing it back for the Wildcats, number 12 right there. We can get a number and a name on him, Corey. Justin Johnston, the backup running back, yeah.
And we saw him score a 28-yard touchdown in the first quarter. So that was just a fortuitous bounce. I want to see on the replay if that ball went off of a LeFlore defender's back.
Right.
Because it was a low-line drive punt. It only traveled close to maybe 12 yards. As we take a look at the replay, as you look at Ricky Williams get ready to pump the football, as he steps into it, it's going to hit a LeFlore Rattler right in the back. And because of it, the Citronelle Wildcats now, off their second special teams miscue, are in the red zone area.
Looked like it possibly went off Jamal Irby there, and into the end zone goes Joffrey Hutchinson, a 5-yard run at the 240 mark. And the candy does go into the end zone that time, Corey. No tricks, no treats, just an absolute touchdown, and the Wildcats extend their lead on top of LeFlore.
Just a huge special teams miscue, and as we spoke with Anthony Schamberger earlier in the week, he talked about the mental miscues. You can't have that going on as the Wildcats line up for 2, aren't able to get it, but LeFlore put themselves in a bad situation. As we take a look, they try to go for the Joffrey Hutcherson tries to go, and he does get into the end zone on that quarterback keeper. Scores 6 points. The Wildcats go for 2, are not able to convert, and because of it, 2:40 remaining. Our new score, the Wildcats 25, the Rattlers 6.
We'll be back. We'll take a quick break. Join us on the other side for more action. It's the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
As Alabama's first and largest school system, Mobile County Public Schools prides itself on the high quality of education we provide our students.
We have been successful over the years in raising our graduation rates
and have been recognized nationally for closing achievement gaps.
We believe that our primary focus is to educate all students to become productive citizens.
This is our commitment to them and to you.
Citronelle all over LeFlore right now. 27-6 is our first half score. 2:40 remaining in the first half. And LeFlore gives up that quick touchdown off of the botched punt off the back of Jamal Irby. And I know the Rattlers are dejected and upset right now, giving up a quick 6. So they're going to try to make up for something. Look, a little trickeration right here. Little handoff to Holyfield. Comes around the edge. The Wildcats are not surprised. They're ready for it. And, of course, a flag comes out when you see plays like that. Holyfield continuing to run, Corey, but I think that one may be coming back.
Yeah, the flag is going to be thrown right at the 11-yard line of the Rattlers, and they tried to go with the reverse on the kickoff, and it's going to put the Rattlers in even deeper territory with the Wildcats having 2 timeouts remaining with 2:37 here in the second quarter. They'll be able to, if they're able to stop LeFlore, they'll be able to get the ball back again before the quarter ends. So LeFlore definitely needs to put it together.
The kicking team, 15 yards, added on to the end of the run, first down.
All right,
they're going to call the face mask at the 11-yard line.
Citronelle. So LeFlore gets the great run and the gift right here, sets them up on the Citronelle 48-yard line. I'm sorry, 38-yard line, Corey. They're looking pretty good.
That's a situation that LeFlore is very happy about, because if that penalty would have gone back, it would have been half the distance of the goal line, which I thought it was a holding call.
I did too.
The referee saw the face mask, and it's going to benefit the LeFlore Rattlers. 2:37 remaining. The Rattlers really need to score here before halftime.
Coming up at halftime, the Chick-fil-A Trivia Challenge. Stick around for that. Kimberly Dunn will try to get a spectator in the stands hooked up with the Chick-fil-A prize pack, as Hezekiah Belfon is trying to hook up with his receiver, and he cannot bring it down right there. You can't win the prize pack that way, Corey. Unfortunately, could not bring the ball down. Derek McGlaster-Williams. Unfortunate.
He's going to be very, very upset as Belfon rolls out to his left, throws a strike into the end zone, and it was an opportunity for the Rattlers to strike. All he has to do is squeeze the pigskin. Is knocked away at the last moment by Aaron Peebles, but it's a situation to where Derek Williams McGlasker would definitely like to have that ball back in his hands.
Looks like it may have bounced off the shoulder pads, and he couldn't quite haul it in. As Chris Carter famously says, if you can get your hands on it, you're supposed to catch it. Hand off to the up back right there, gets a couple yards as the clock continues to move. LeFlore going to third down. Javonte Majors with that run right there. Great field position for the Rattlers. Just can't seem to capitalize right now. Got to dig deep into the playbook to keep the drive going and try to get some positivity as they go to the locker room.
The Rattlers spreading the field. You know they want to go vertical here as they called their shot 3rd down and 10. A quick throw.
Gets it out to Petway. And he cannot advance it, Corey. He probably could have picked up that first down, but he is brought down by the Wildcats short of the first down marker.
Jamarcus Robinson from his linebacker position makes the stop for Citronelle. Now an interesting play call. 1:35 remaining here in the second quarter. LeFlore's down to the Wildcats' 38-yard line on 4th down and 5 yards to go. The Rattlers don't have any timeouts. They can't take a penalty with 20 seconds remaining on the play clock. Need to go ahead and make sure they convert right here, or it'll be turnover on downs.
Takes the 4 to 4th down and 6 here. Majors in the backfield. Belfon is going to keep it, trying to do the work himself, Corey, and he's pushed toward the first down marker, maybe one of those linemen. Let's see if they give him credit for it. We said Belfon, a big guy at 6'2". Let's see where they mark it. The chains are moving, and it's a first down for the Rattlers.
On the carry, first down for the Rattlers.
1:01 remaining in the first half. The clock moving, and LeFlore trying to keep this drive going to get some points on the board. Down 27-6 right now. Little quick toss to Petway, but he stays in bounds, Corey. He does not get out of bounds to stop the clock. The Rattlers have no timeouts, and that clock is moving.
Jamarcus Robinson, outstanding tackle in the open field. It's going to create a situation now where the clock is still moving. The Rattlers have to hurry up if they want to try to score. They don't have any timeouts remaining. You can't afford to spike this ball, but you have to quickly put the ball in play.
17 seconds remaining, trying to go up top and hook up with Petaway. That does stop the clock at second down. It'll take the Rattlers to third down here. 11 seconds remaining, 3rd and 8. The ball at the 30-yard line. Third and 8 here for LeFlore. Ball on the 30-yard lines. 11 seconds remaining in the first half. Belfont across the middle. Appears as if he does have that complete. And it is complete to Demir Smith, but Corey, he stays in bounds. Belfont has to clock it right now. It's enough to get the first down, but as soon as they mark it ready to play, that clock is going to start.
It's a situation where the scoreboard is reading 25-6. We thought it was 27-6. I'm getting information from the ECO that the two-point conversion earlier, when they went for the two-point conversion, was an illegal forward pass. So we'll have to check with the officials at halftime to double check our score. It was a great call on the two-point conversion, but they're saying that that was an illegal forward pass. We'll check with the officials to make sure that our official halftime score is 25-6.
I was noticing that the lag clock still read 20. The scoreboard read 25-6. Citronelle calls a timeout right here. The clock says zeros, but they're going to put 2 seconds back on it because they got the first down. The Rattlers pick up the first down. They were trying to clock it, but I don't think the Wildcats were ready. So Coach Jason Barnett uses the timeout right here.
Well, if you're LeFlore, if you can try to squeeze away a score right here before the half and go in trailing 25-13, or if you're able to convert 25-14 instead of 25-6, that makes a world of difference because you have a sense of confidence going in. Here's the two-point conversion. We'll see if it is an illegal forward pass. And it to me, I think it's a legitimate play, but I'll have to check with the officials at halftime to see exactly what the call was.
And interesting you said LeFlore has not purchased the instant replay, so we can't, that play not under review. So interesting, that's what the electronic clock operator's for up there, Corey, the official scorekeeper as well. So here it is, one play for the Rattlers. They're going to the end zone. The little jump ball, cannot complete that, so that'll bring the end to the first half. Tried to hook up with Genesis Dortch. Interesting first half we've had here tonight, and Dortch is down, Corey, in the end zone.
Came down a little bit awkwardly. Belfont drops back, has plenty of time as Genesis goes vertical. He comes down and is hit by the defender. It looks like he might have landed awkwardly on his knee, but the trainers are tending him down in the end zone, and we won't start our halftime festivities until he's able to get off of the field.
Why, to get him taken care of and get him looked at as well. So interesting. Ball just above the tips of his fingers, Corey. He possibly could have brought it in, but unfortunately could not haul the pass in there for the Rattlers. And right now it looks like it'll be 25-6 as the training staff looking at Dortch there in the end zone. Looks like the young man is going to get up on his own power. That's always a great sign. So the Wildcats take a knee. They don't even go to the locker room to give the respect right there. And we'll wait for Rick Johnson to make the official call. They are discussing some things down there, as you can see, Corey. No flags. Well, I do see a flag in the end zone. Official going to pick it up. So was that a late hit against Citronelle? The half wouldn't end on a defensive penalty.
Personal foul on the defense. Foul will carry over to kickoff in the second half.
So they'll carry it over to the second half. We will go to halftime there. So LeFlore will get the penalty, but not the points, Corey. But the young man is fine, so Genesis Dortch, so that's a good thing. He's able to get off the field in his own power.
That's a plus for the LeFlore Rattlers, is they are trailing 25-6 at halftime. That's the score that we'll go with officially right now until we're told something else at halftime. But so far, the Citronelle Wildcats have been able to capitalize off of special teams miscues by the LeFlore Rattlers, and because of it, our score 25-6. They've been in great field position, have the Wildcats. One punt, is over the head of the kicker. The other one goes off of the back of one of the LeFlore Rattlers. Both of the Citronelle Wildcats scores in that situation set up on short fields created by special teams miscues.
Hutcherson has 2 touchdowns tonight. Justin Johnson with a touchdown, pretty much working the ground game. Jason Barnett, he talked about his depth. As I said, at 1 through 16, they're fine. We'll find out in the second half how 17 through 30 will respond. Let's take it down. Kimberly Dunn is with Jason Barnett right now.
Coach Barnett, how do you feel about your team's performance so far in tonight's game?
Well, we're playing pretty well. Defensively, we're playing pretty well. Offensively, we just got to cut out the penalties. Obviously, we scored a touchdown, I think twice right there, and we had to get them called back. Next thing you know, it's 3rd and 30. So that's the kind of stuff we're shooting ourselves in the foot. If we just keep playing football, we're going to be fine.
Yep. So what does your team need to improve on coming into the second half?
Absolutely, the cutting down on the penalties. We cut down on that. We're going to be fine.
Yeah. All right, Coach. I'll let you get to your team.
Guys, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Kimberly. There's Jason Barnett. All right, it's halftime. Right now, Citronelle on top 25-6. We'll be back with some halftime ceremonies, a special ceremony that the Rattlers are doing, and maybe a look at the mighty marching Rattler Band. It's the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
At Mobile County Public Schools, we believe it starts with us. That's why we offer Signature Academies.
I'm Tracy Tran, and I'm in the Healthcare and Dental Academy at Theodore High School. In the Dental Academy, I'm working alongside dental professionals getting hands-on training from those already working in the industry. Shadowing them on the job makes me want to work even harder because now I know what I want to be.
Signature Academies are open to all students in Mobile County Public High Schools. To find out more, visit mcpss.com.
When parents are involved in school, they get more of this and less of this.
I'm Ashley Rich, District Attorney. Today I want to talk to you about a program that we at the District Attorney's Office has with the Mobile County Public School Systems to help with the bullying issues that are going on in today's world because of social media and because our young people think it's okay to bully others. It's not okay to bully others. Bullying is repeated verbal and physical abuse, ongoing verbal and physical abuse. We at the Mobile County District Attorney's Office want to help the community, we want to help the public school system, and we want to stop bullying within our community. It's really, really important that we do so. And parents need to be responsible if their child is either being bullied or if their child is a bully. Parents need to be involved to stop the bullying or to help the child if they are being bullied. And we at the Mobile County District Attorney's Office and the Mobile County Public School System are also here to help.
I believe my child's school is probably one of the best ones I could have picked in Mobile. She's in the PACE program. The teachers are phenomenal. The principal, couldn't ask for a better principal. The research that I had done myself, I believe the quality of education in Mobile County Public School System is excellent. For me and my child, I'm gonna stick with the public school system. I think it's the way to go.
Hello, I'm Helena Tyler. I would like to invite you to join me for Inside Education. Come with us as we take a look at what's happening around Mobile County Public Schools, as well as what's happening in your child's classroom. That's Inside Education, right here on the MCPSS TV network.
When parents are involved in school, you get more of this and less of this.
At Mobile County Public Schools, we believe it starts with us. That's why we offer Signature Academies.
Hello, I'm Jordan Clark, and I'm in the Health Service Academy at John L. LeFlore Magnet High School. My future career is to be an obstetrician gynecologist. With this academy, I'm learning firsthand from people already working in the industry. Shadowing them on the job really makes me want to study hard and work harder towards my career goal.
Signature Academies are open to all students in Mobile County Public High Schools. Visit mcpss.com.
Right now, down on the field, it's a ceremony going on. LeFlore Rattlers honoring former players tonight, inducting them into the 2018 William Bill Jesse Athletic Facility Wall of Fame. As you can see, Citronelle on top right now of LeFlore, 25-6.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the 2018 William Bill Jesse Wall of Fame inductees.
So being inducted tonight into the William Bill Jesse Athletic Facility Wall of Fame inductees, you have from 1985, the class of 85, Lamar Woodson. He's the uncle of Danny Woodson Jr., who recently played at LeFlore. His brother, Danny Woodson, played as well. Ray Porter from the class of 1985. From 1986, you have B.N. Harbin. And from the class of 1988, going into the Wall of Fame, Christopher Raymond played his college ball at Alabama A&M. Former LeFlore coach from 2008 to 2011, and he's the present head coach at the 6A Selma Saints. So those four former players going into the William Bill Jesse Athletic Facility Wall of Fame they have over there at LeFlore High School. And right now, I believe the LeFlore Mighty Marching Rattlers are getting ready to hit the field for a halftime performance as they get ready to bring some action. So big recognition tonight for LeFlore, big celebration. The rain did hold off so they could have the Wall of Fame induction for those four former players of LeFlore. Talked about Lamar Woodson earlier. He and Ray Porter, part of a class. 3 of those guys went to Auburn that year for 1985. Lamar Woodson, Ray Porter, and Lawyer Tillman. Let's take it down to Kimberly Dunn. I think she's ready. It's time for the Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge.
I am here with Miss Layla Clark, who is an employee that works at Dunbar, and your daughter is a cheerleader here at LeFlore High School?
That's correct.
Wonderful, and she has agreed to do our Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge tonight. Are you ready for this question?
I'm ready for the question.
Okay, well, we got it pretty easy. It's multiple choice, and of course, I think you get a few chances if you do get it wrong, but I'm confident that you'll do good.
Okay.
All right. So the question that tonight is, in what year was the first iPad released? Okay, here are your choices. A, 1977, B, 1985, C, 1992, or D, 2010. So the first iPad. Don't overthink it. Here we go.
The first iPad was not released in 1977 because that's when I was born. Let's go with D, 2010.
That is right. The first iPad was released in 2010, April 3rd to be exact. So not too old, only 8 years.
That's right.
All right, so she is the winner tonight of our Chick-fil-A prize pack. It has a bunch of goodies from Chick-fil-A, some cool sunglasses, of course the infamous little cow, and then some Mobile County Public School System goodies as well.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Have a good night.
All right, Kimberly, that is the Chick-fil-A Halftime Trivia Challenge. I'm glad you got a hold of a poncho to ward off the rain. Now we'll take it down to the field and check out the mighty marching LeFlore Rattler Band.
The band will now perform the Mansfield Girls Blues. Keep watching. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the John LeFlore Mighty Marching Rattler Band. Now move to the edges of your feet. There's a lovely lady right there to hypnotize you to wanna be starting something. Let's go, Sizzle and Quick. The opening of the yard will halftime entertainment brought to you by Mr. William Henderson, our principal, and captain tonight, our field captain, Taylor McKean, and our flag captain. Our flag band sponsor is Pamela Kansas, and the director of band, Mr. Michael
Of the mighty LeFlore Marching Rattler Band. We'll be back with more halftime action. It's the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
Hello, my name is Abby Dinkins. My children go to E.R. Dixon Elementary School. The education that my kids are getting, it's tremendous. There's one time that I thought about homeschooling my kids because I wasn't sure, we're new here. And when I enroll my children at the public school, and I'm just blown away because the teachers are nice, the curriculum itself is different. I believe in Mobile County public school education for preparing my children for life.
To be inside of the advanced placement program means that you are a student whose primary goal is to go to college. And being in the advanced placement makes that so much more real for those students who are inside of it.
I feel that students shouldn't be scared to go into being an AP scholar because it's not how smart you are, and it's not like your GPA, it's how much work you put into your classes and how much you are dedicated to your classes.
The Environmental Studies Center is a natural sciences education facility designed to provide unique learning experiences. In addition, wildlife rehabilitation plays a vital role each day at the center. Featuring more than 500 acres of rich woodlands, the center affords teachers, students, and the general public an opportunity to experience firsthand the natural environment. Environmental Studies Center. It starts with us in the Mobile County Public Schools.
It is halftime here at the legendary Lab People Stadium. Citronelle on top, 25-6. I'm Al Wheaton, joined in the broadcast booth by Corey LeBounty. Corey, we've been talking about it since halftime has begun, about the score being 25-6. You got some information, some inside information to help explain what possibly happened with that two-point try from Citronelle.
Yes, as our score was 19-6. Citronelle's Jamarcus Robinson had a 6-yard touchdown with 4:08 remaining in the second quarter. At that point in time, Citronelle went for a two-point conversion. When they lined up, the two-point conversion that they ran was good, but the holder's knee was down, and that's what the white hat explained to me down at halftime. And you know who the white hat is. As we take a look at that replay in that situation, the holder for the Citronelle Wildcats, Carson Jarvis, the quarterback, his knee is down, so officially he was ruled down. The white hat is right on top of it. They never signaled, the side judge signaled that the two-point conversion was good because he was looking in his primary area. That's a great job by our crew bringing up the instant replay in that situation. As the kicker, Caston Reed, the ball is flipped to him by quarterback Carson Jarvis, but clearly his knee is down. At that point in time, that would have made our score 19-6, negating that great two-point conversion. We saw LSU and Les Miles run that, and Mr. Patterson told us that is a rocket red 21 that was called by the LSU Tigers in that situation. A great special teams play, but the holder's knee was clearly down, making our score 19-6. The Citronelle Wildcats went on to score again, making our score 25-6. Their two-point conversion then was truly no good on their second score. So our halftime score is 25-6.
Now, Corey, one question. When you talked to official Johnson about that, did he say why he didn't explain that or call it? Because we never saw any signification from him that it was no good.
It was a situation where he was the one that was looking at the play. The side judge signaled that it was good. He never came over the PA announcement and made that call over the speakers, letting everybody know that the points were negated. When Mr. Slade, our clock operator, put the score up, they signaled to the ECO, his wife, to take the 2 points back off of the board.
I saw that.
Our true score was 19-6 at that point, but he never made a verbal announcement letting everybody in the stands or letting everybody know, including us in the booth, to know exactly what had happened and what our score was.
And at that point, it really didn't dawn on us because, remember, LeFlore got the ball. That drive went nowhere, 3 and out, and the punt went off of Jamal Irby. And before you knew it, Citronelle was back on the board again. So we looked up and said, where are the other 2 points for 27?
Exactly. I was texting over to the score operator saying the score should be 27-6, but nonetheless, our score here at halftime is 25-6 in favor of the Citronelle Wildcats. A great explanation down at halftime by our white hat, Johnson. Now we're at halftime.
I promise you we won't make this one the Game of the Week brain buster next week. Stick around, second half action headed your way. Up next is the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
As Alabama's first and largest school system, Mobile County Public Schools prides itself on the high quality of education we provide our students.
We have been successful over the years in raising our graduation rates
and have been recognized nationally for closing achievement gaps.
We believe that our primary focus is to educate all students to become productive citizens.
This is our commitment to them and to you.
October is Parent and Family Engagement Month, and Mobile County Public Schools is sending out an invitation to you. Join us Monday, October 15th at your child's school, and you can pick up report cards as you meet and greet your child's teacher. There will also be parenting workshops to provide resources and materials for students' success. Because when families, communities, and schools work together, students succeed. So mark your calendar, October 15th, for our Parent and Family Engagement Day.
Coach, what was the atmosphere like in the locker room during halftime?
It was a little intense. We just got to do better catching the ball. We've dropped a lot of balls this half, and we got to make up for it this half now.
So what does your team need to improve on specifically in order to pull off the win tonight?
Just concentrating on the ball. If we catch the ball, I think we'll be fine.
Yep. So what did you say to motivate your team to come out here and execute the rest of the night?
Just to stay focused and continue to play the second half.
All right. Thank you so much, Coach.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Kim, right there talking with Anthony Schamberger. Corey, pretty much you said the locker room was intense, and I'm sure it was, down 25-6. And you could say some wasted opportunities on LeFlore's part tonight.
It's going to be a tale of two halves for the LeFlore Rattlers, and it has to be. These next 24 minutes, you're battling for your playoff life. The Citronelle Wildcats, this is their third football game. They came in and played 2A competition. This is their first big boy competition at the 5A level.
Right.
LeFlore's behind the 8 ball, having lost to Faith Academy 1 week ago, putting them at 0-1 in the region. You don't want to be at 0-2 in this 5A Region 1 with there only being 7 teams in this 5A region.
All right, don't move. We're going to come back with the second half kickoff up next. It's the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
Hello, my name is Abby Dinkins. My children go to E.R. Dixon Elementary School. The education that my kids are getting, it's tremendous. There's one time that I thought about homeschooling my kids because I wasn't sure, we're new here. And when I enroll my children at the public school, and I'm just blown away because the teachers are nice, the curriculum itself is different. I believe in Mobile County Public School education for preparing my children for life.
To be inside of the advanced placement program means that you are a student whose primary goal is to go to college. And being in the advanced placement makes that so much more real for those students who are inside of it.
I feel that students shouldn't be scared to go into being an AP scholar because it's not how smart you are and it's not like your GPA, it's how much work you put into your classes and how much you are dedicated to your classes.
As a student in the Mobile County Public Schools, there are a few things I've come to expect. One is a quality education, and the other is a quality lunch. Not only are our school meals well-balanced, meeting all federal nutritional standards, but they also have less fat, fewer calories, and they taste really good. Oh, and I forgot to mention, our school lunches contain whole wheat, grains, fruits, and vegetables to give me the energy and brain power to get me through the day.
Welcome back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Citronelle on top officially, 25-6 over LeFlore. I'm Al Wheaton, joined in the booth by Corey LeBounty down on the sidelines. Kimberly Dunn handling all the action. Corey, you just talked about the importance of this game for LeFlore trying to pick up that region win. You're right, it's a 7-team region, and teams have gotten in at 3-3 in the region, but when you get in a situation like that, it's one of those who did you beat, who did you lose to, and last year, Citronelle can give you testimony. They lost to Williamson, and that one loss to Williamson kept them out of the playoffs, and Williamson got in last year at 3-3.
And that's a situation for the Wildcats where a year ago when they played the Williamson Lions here, they felt that they didn't play that great at Ladd Stadium. That big stage here, they're not used to playing in this huge, big environment. But so far, the first half has gone pretty well for Citronelle. The Rattlers are 4-2 all time versus Citronelle, and Citronelle is trying to kind of even out that margin a little bit.
Right.
LeFlore has a bye next week, Al, so they're going to have plenty of opportunities to clean up any mistakes that they've seen that they've made through the first 4 weeks. But here on this opening drive, the first 5 minutes are going to be very important for the LeFlore Rattlers.
Caston Reed kicking off from his 25-yard line. Remember, at the end of the first half, that was a penalty, a late hit, personal foul against Citronelle as Genesis Dortch went down in the end zone. So 15 yards assessed to the Wildcats. That's why they kicked off from the 25. And as we thought, Corey, LeFlore should get pretty great field position. And with that run back right there by Christopher Holyfield, they're sitting right at the midfield stripe, 1st and 10, ball on the 50.
going to be very important for LeFlore to execute coming out of here at halftime. We could tell that Coach Schamberger wasn't happy after talking with Kimberly. You can tell that he motivated his guys. We'll see if they can come out here and avoid the mental miscues like I talked about in my checklist at the beginning of the game, something that they want to stay ahead of these sticks. The ball's right at midfield, great field position. An opportunity for the Rattlers to score to open this third quarter would be huge.
As look right there in the backfield in the pistol formation, Devontae Majors behind Hezekiah Belfon. Belfon looking to get that ball out, and he does. Looks like he connects with DeAndre Petway. I'm sorry, that's Genesis Dortch. Had that late hit last play of the first half. He seems to be doing okay. But that pitch and catch for a loss there, Corey. So LeFlore goes backwards there, losing about 4 yards.
Swing pass that was thrown. Justin Johnston comes up from his safety position for the Wildcats. 5'7", 130-pound senior, and makes a great open field tackle. The Rattlers now behind the sticks at 2nd and 15.
DeAndre Petway at the bottom of the screen seems to be limping there, but he is set up in formation. He does head out. Belfon looking to him. He's in double coverage, and Belfon is sacked. You could call that a coverage sack. Great defense there by the Wildcats as Belfon is brought down for a loss.
Well, in that situation, if you're Hezekiah, no receivers are open, you see the pocket collapsing, go ahead and throw the football away. Don't take the loss. Now it's going to be 3rd down and close to 16 yards to go for LeFlore.
We talked about it at halftime. It takes 4 quarters to win a game. This could be a game of halves. The last time Citronelle won 3 in a row was 10 years ago. They beat Gulf Shore, St. Paul's, and Escambia County. So they're trying to pick up their first region win, but the first time they've won 3 in over a decade. 3rd and long for the Rattlers. Lads calling it 3rd and 16. Trips at the top. Belfon, pocket collapsing. He's up the middle. He's a big guy. He's lumbering. Gets out of bounds at about the 47-yard line, but that is far short of the first down marker.
Bring up 4th down at about 6 yards to go. In this situation, if you punt the ball, you're going to make the Wildcats drive the length of the field. You're not in no man's land, but it is a tough call, a call that Anthony Schamberger, being the head coach, is going to have to make. And at 4th and 6, if Citronelle is able to get this football back, it will be close to midfield, which would create a shorter field than if LeFlore decided a quick kick or punt.
Right. I believe if they weren't down 25-6, I have a feeling Anthony Schamberger will probably punt the ball, but he knows he needs offense. Remember, quarters are only 12 minutes long in high school, and we don't have 2-minute warning. So there it is right there. Pass complete over the middle, possibly enough for the first down marker. Gets that ball out to Demir Smith. Let's see if the chains are moving. Corey, they are, so Rick Johnson is signaling it's a first down for the Rattlers.
Huge pickup by the LeFlore Rattlers, and a great gamble if it pays off, which it did for LeFlore. The tight end, 6 foot, 180-pound freshman, is able to squeeze the pigskin and come away with a big catch for LeFlore.
Trips at the top for the Rattlers. Ball on the 39-yard line of Citronelle. Trying to get some positivity here after a first half where they only put 6 points on the board. Holyfield up the middle for a gain of 2 or 3.
It's going to be Major on the carry.
I'm sorry, Devontae Major.
Yes, and Al, he's able to pick up 3 yards, and because of it, again, 2nd and 7 is a whole lot better than 2nd and 10 or 1st and 15. Positive yards, the Rattlers were able to get a first down, move the sticks. Now they just want to continue the momentum of opening up this second half.
Belfon has time to throw. Gets out of the pocket, does have a man in the end zone, but that ball short of the end zone, but looks like it is complete and brought in by LeFlore.
Williams McGlasker on the catch for the LeFlore Rattlers. We saw him drop one earlier in the end zone. Great patient. Hezekiah keeping his head up, directing traffic, decides to throw it across his body, knows that he has a receiver that is open. 2 wide receivers, as a matter of fact, was wide open. 1st and goal for LeFlore. So far taking 6 minutes off of this, 3 minutes off of this clock to start the third quarter.
Jahia Robinson was back there playing center field behind Williams McGlasker. LeFlore in the red zone, 1st and goal. and they're pushing that one toward the end zone. Holyfield with the run picks up maybe 2 or 3. Second down, big play right here. 8:40 remaining in the third quarter.
Al, if you look at the first scoring drive by the LeFlore Rattlers with 10:15 remaining in the second quarter, they were able to eat away some close to 7 minutes of the clock. So far, this drive is taking close to 4 as they're going to bring up second and goal.
Christopher Holyfield pretty much walks into the end zone right there, and it's a touchdown. And LeFlore gets on the board their first series here in the third quarter. Corey, you could probably attribute some of that to that 15-yard personal foul as the Citronelle had to kick off from the 25. But that big pass from Belfond to Williams McGlasker sets up Holyfield for the 2-yard run. And LeFlore inches closer here, down 25-12 right now, and they're going to do the try for 2.
And Holyfield was able to punch it in from 2 yards out, just bouncing it to the outside. Did it with ease. This 2-point conversion is critical for LeFlore.
Belfond fakes the pass, and he is wrapped up and brought down, but a flag does come in on the play.
The 2-point conversion is no good, but you do see that penalty flag, and I think it's got to be some type of face mask. It could be holding because the only one that was there was Hezekiah Belfond.
Right, he had the ball. I mean, that was the only action really going on. He couldn't connect with anyone. And let's see what Rick Johnson has to say about this on the call.
Face mask. Half the distance to the goal. Retry.
So the Rattlers get a couple yards, half the distance. And, Corey, that is not the first time we've heard face mask being called tonight. We've had it a few times tonight.
Yeah, it's probably the third or fourth time tonight that we've seen the flag come out due to somebody grabbing the bird cage, and not something that you would like to see. But it does inch the LeFlore Rattlers a little bit closer on this 2-point conversion, not necessarily changing the call, but if you get the type of push that you just got on the the touchdown run, it's still from 2 yards out right here.
Rattlers hand that ball off to Holyfield. Up the middle he goes, and they get the 2 points. So it's 25-14. LeFlore comes out with their first series and get on the board. Don't move. We're back with more action for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
October is Parent and Family Engagement Month, and Mobile County Public Schools is sending out an invitation to you. Join us Monday, October 15th at your child's school, and you can pick up report cards as you meet and greet your child's teacher. There will also be parenting workshops to provide resources and materials for students' success. Because when families, communities, and schools work together, students succeed. So mark your calendar, October 15th, for our Parent and Family Engagement Day.
When it comes to high school sports, scores, players, and the latest on all sports within Mobile County Public Schools, you can get informed on MCPSS Athletics with Brad Lowell, only on the MCPSS TV network. All right, Corey, LeFlore gets a score right there and inches closer. 25-14 is our third quarter score right here with 8:21 remaining in the ball game. I guess that motivation possibly in the locker room worked a bit for the Rattlers there.
Yeah, nice sustained drive. Again, the 2 scoring opportunities that LeFlore's had, they've been able to push the ball down the field exactly what Coach Schamberger wanted and the execution that he asked for.
Little short kick from the Rattlers there. Taken by DeAnthony Malone, and he brings it past the midfield stripe into Rattler territory. Not the best of kickoffs from Ricky Williams there.
Citronelle takes over on the Rattlers side of the field. Let's see if the Rattler defense adheres to what Coach Schamberger said to the offense, which is come out, ask the offense to come out and get a score. Let's see if Dwayne Hill's defense now can get the type of stop that will create a little bit of momentum. We talked about it at halftime, being 24 minutes left of football. It's up for LeFlore now to answer the call defensively.
Rattlers down 11 right here, 1st and 10 on the Rattler 48. Pass incomplete from Carson Jarvis. It'll take Citronelle to second down, trying to connect with Aaron Bell.
one that I know Aaron Bell would like to have back, just a slant route, wasn't able to hold and squeeze onto the pigskin. 2nd down and 10. We've seen the Wildcats struggle when they're in down and distance, long down and distance situations.
Right, but we also notice when they go to that Wildcat formation, if Hutcherson is back there, Johnston back there, they seem to do very well when they bring that formation in for them, Corey.
And that's something that we'll have to take a look at to see now that they're going back to their true quarterback position. Carson Jarvis will now look to take the snaps again. LeFlore is going to have to tighten up on defense.
Johnston with the handoff there. He gets a couple. Nice run, maybe 4 or 5 on there, but it'll take Citronelle to 3rd down.
And now we'll see if this big offensive line of the Wildcats can prove to be productive and effective, because it's going to bring up 3rd down and 5 yards to go right at the LeFlore 43-yard line. If they're not able to get that push, we know Coach Schamberger and Dwayne Hill, the defensive coordinator, brought the blitz early and often to begin the game. Let's see if they decide to bring the house here and if some type of delayed screen or draw is run by the Wildcats.
Jarvis looking to pass, tries to get it out the belt, incomplete. Late flag comes in.
Will be a personal foul, roughing the quarterback.
And it comes in from head referee Rick Johnson. Corey, I believe you're right about that one, the way he threw that one late and Jarvis was on the ground. And if that's the case, that will give Citronelle a 1st down and further into Rattlers territory. So another mental miscue by LeFlore, and that gives Citronelle a 1st down at 3rd and 5. But that's a big one. That's a big 15.
Advances the ball right to the LeFlore 27-yard line, and 15 yards in this situation. You need that stop. Your defense was able to string together a 1st and 2nd down stop, brought up 3rd down and long, and now all of a sudden the Rattlers are deep. The Wildcats are deep in the Rattlers territory.
Here's the Wildcat formation. Justin Johnson, fumble snap right there as he goes around the edge. And Corey, you could see that face mask as Johnston's head comes all the way around. Hope the young man is okay. A couple flags come in on the play. We'll let them sort it out. As they sort it out, it's time for your Game of the Week Brain Buster question. But we have it coming up shortly. We'll take a look at the flag right here and see what's going on. So
it is going to be another face mask, another 15-yard penalty, and if that's the situation from the 27, it'll bring it almost to the 12-yard line of the Rattlers once they walk off the penalty yardage.
So as you could clearly see that one on camera right on the field, Johnson head turn around.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense, half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
So that's a total of 30 yards just on this series right here.
And with the fumbled snap right there, Johnston has it, and you can see the first face mask, and then there was another face mask late in the play also, so they were able to assess the 15 yards.
Joffrey Hutcherson comes in. First time calling his name here in the 2nd half, picks up maybe 1 or 2 as Citronelle into the red zone. They can pick up a 1st down. They don't have to score to keep the drive going on top 25-14 with 6:38 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. We're going to have the Game of the Week Brain Buster question coming up there, Corey. I thought we were ready for it. We had that flag on the play, but we have the question coming up, so stick around for that. Try to test your knowledge and see if we can get it answered correctly. That pass incomplete. Jarvis cannot connect, tries to get that out to Aaron Peoples. It'll move Citronelle to 3rd down.
Tried to get it on the inside position, inside throw. It just wasn't there. Now you're looking at a 3rd down and 8 yards to go for Citronelle. It would be very, very big for the LeFlore Rattlers to come away with the stop, not allowing Citronelle to put any points on the board on this drive deep in their own territory.
Giving up 30 yards and penalties alone just on this drive. So a stop right here would be huge 3rd and 8, ball on the 13-yard line. Hutcherson in the backfield. Jarvis keeps it. I believe we may have had a pre-snap penalty, Corey. There's a flag here on the near side by the 10-yard line.
And that's one of the situations here in the third quarter. We've had sloppy play by both teams. A lot of yellow flags out on the field here.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. 5 yards. Replay 3rd down.
Rick Johnson and the crew earning all the check here tonight, especially in the third quarter. You're right, Corey. A lot of flags going on. Quick recap, LeFlore comes out of the locker room, pick up a quick score, get to within 11, but a short kickoff from Ricky Williams, and the ball brought out to the LeFlore 50-yard line, and a couple penalties later, Citronelle is sitting at a 3rd and 13 on LeFlore 18.
Heat time out.
And I believe Rick Johnson has called for the heat time out once again, Corey, about 5 seconds, 5 seconds shorter than 6 minutes. So while we have a break right now, let's take a look at the game of the week brain buster question. All right, Corey, tonight is Citronelle and LeFlore's 7th time playing each other. You said it earlier, 4-2, LeFlore leads the series. What 2 things have each game had in common? This is Citronelle and LeFlore's 7th time playing each other. What 2 things have each game had in common? Think about that for a while, and we'll give you an answer later on. There's your game of the week, brain buster. Nice shot right there of the LeFlore mascot on the helmet. 25-14. I wonder what Coach Schamberger had to tell his kids right here. You definitely want to hold them 3rd and 13 here.
He's hoping for a Rattler strike defensively, some type of forced turnover, some type of big play. You don't want to have a self-inflicted penalty, though, here at 3rd down and 13.
Jarvis trying to get that ball out over the top, does have a receiver. Incomplete, could not get hooked up with Aaron Peoples, no flags. So the defense has held right now, and onto the field, running gingerly and ready to start kicking, is Caston Reed.
Be about a 35-yard field goal. We saw the trickeration earlier.
Right.
I don't think you can run that play twice in a game. You hate that you burned it, but if he's able to convert here, it will be from 38 yards.
That kick is up, and it is good. So Reed does connect to extend the lead 28-14 over the Rattlers at the 5:51 mark.
A little pressure now on the LeFlore Rattlers, because what that did is essentially made you have to go for 2 or convert 2 touchdowns. It's a 2-score game, 5:51 here in the third quarter. Plenty of time left for both of these teams to duke it out.
All right, Corey, you don't get long to study tonight. We got to move it here. So it's the game of the week, brain buster. Tonight is Citronelle and LeFlore's 7th time playing each other. Corey, what 2 things have each game had in common?
I want to say the home team has won.
The home team has won. That was the answer to the Murphy Fairhope question last week.
I'm going to jump back on that one.
So let's let the guys and girls in the truck reveal the answer to our brain buster, and we'll see what the answer is. Each game has been played in the month of September, and it has always been a region game.
So these 2 teams are very familiar with each other as far as playoff stakes.
Right.
Being and knowing what's at stake with the playoff berth on the line.
So ball over the head of J. Allen Gray into the end zone. That is rather interesting. You played the same team in the same month, but each time you've played them, it's always been a lot at stake. It's been a region game.
And you talked about it at the beginning of the broadcast, Al. Neither one of these teams can afford to have a region loss. This is Citronelle's first region game, but they have Faith Academy next week.
Right.
LeFlore lost to Faith Academy 1 week ago, so they don't want to start 0-2 in the region going into their bye week next week.
Speaking of losses, the last time LeFlore lost 3 games in a row, it was the end of the 16 and start of the 17 season. They lost to Spanish Fort in 16, then started off 17, losing to Williamson and Saraland. So they want to definitely flip things around and pick up a win tonight. 5:51 remaining. Hezekiah Belfon line up over center, a formation we haven't seen all night from the Rattlers, and that play goes nowhere as the clock starts to run under 6 minutes. The Rattlers down 28-14.
Well, if you're LeFlore, you just want to get positive yards on first down, and they were able to get 2 yards, which is a positive situation. You don't have to get greedy here if you're LeFlore, and you just want to make sure that you don't turn the ball over, as they want to make the Wildcats have double vision, as we see double vision on our screen right now.
Look at the 2 cuties right there. Christopher Holyfield up the middle. You're right, Corey. I mean, you're within 2 scores right now, so this ball game is not out of reach, but you want to get some positivity going. Anthony Schamberger, the offensive coordinator, calling the plays for the Rattlers. He's got to definitely dig right now. It's about, 3rd and 5, maybe 3rd and 6 here for LeFlore.
LeFlore comes in averaging 14.7 points per game and have 14 on the scoreboard. The Wildcats give it up 6.5 points per game through 2 because they had a bye 1 week ago. So far, both teams have equated to what their normal season total is.
Right, what the average is. Holyfield around the edge. I believe he has enough to pick up the first down. The line to get was the 30-yard line, and it appears as if he is right on it. Rick Johnson signals it as a first down, so the chains will move. Corey, you're right about the averages for both of these teams. The LeFlore defense gives up 24.3, and right now Citronelle has 28 on the board. So pretty much the game is playing out how the season has developed for both of these teams. Big first down for LeFlore right there to keep this drive going. The clock ticking under 5 minutes. Holyfield with another carry, picks up maybe 1 or 2. And you notice the young quarterback for LeFlore, Belfont, kind of runs to the numbers, gets the call from Coach Schamberger, then heads back out to the field.
And the good thing is that the play clock has not started, so it gives them a full opportunity to get back into the huddle, get the play called, and get the guys aligned and make sure they're playing assignment-based football, because this is a big drive for LeFlore with 3:45 remaining in this quarter.
And it looks like Coach Schamberger is digging into the old school, just going heavy run, noticing he's not substituting any players. Little play action there, but Belfont cannot connect with the receiver. Maybe Coach Schamberger was setting it up for the play action, had the receiver there but couldn't get it out to him.
Takes a big shot, does Belfont, and is slow getting up because he did a good job of trying to get back to the initial line of scrimmage. Going to bring up 3rd down and 9 yards to go, and he slowly walks over to Coach Schamberger, and I think Coach Schamberger is going to call a timeout to not get the cobwebs out of the eyeballs of Belfont.
He does burn a timeout right here. So at 3:10, the Rattlers take a timeout. And maybe it's time for him to look into that playbook and come up with a good design play. Right now, the ball's sitting at about the 31-yard line. You want to convert. You don't want to have to put the Rattlers into a punting situation. You got a break right here. Let's take a look at the Alabama Sports Writers Association sponsored Alabama High School Athletic Association 7A poll. So we'll start with the poll for 7A, the largest classification in the state. Right there, Hoover at number 1. We know last week that was a big ball game. Hoover and Thompson met up, and Hoover got the win, defeating Thompson. So Thompson drops from number 1 and number 3. McGill-Tulane lost on the road up in Shreveport to West Monroe. That was an out-of-state, out-of-region game, so they're 2-1. Notice at the bottom, Theodore Bobcats picking up 4 votes to hit the 7A poll in the state of Alabama after week 3. Let's take a look over at 6A. Spanish Fort, Saraland sitting pretty much solid right there in the middle. Not too much movement here in the 6A poll. But Corey, notice at the bottom, after their first 6A Region 1 win over Baldwin County, the St. Paul Saints pick up 6 votes in the 6A poll.
With a big game tomorrow night against the Blunt Leopards at Blunt. So that game's going to be very interesting to determine the standings in 6A Region 1.
Sure will. We'll try to take it back down to the field and get this play right here. 3rd and long for the Rattlers. Empty back set here. Trip receivers at the bottom of the screen. Belfont has all day. He overthrows the receiver. And that is incomplete, so that will take LeFlore to 4th down. We'll take a look at the 5A top 10 poll. Viger had a bye last week, so pretty much they stayed at number 3. undefeated. They did pick up that win over Wilcox Central last Saturday. Jackson sitting undefeated at number 6 in the state. And getting some votes right there playing tonight. Citronelle picks up 3 votes to get into the poll. And Faith Academy, the Rams, Corey, who would have thought that Jack French Whisperer does it again, got that win over LeFlore, and I can't recall the last time I saw Faith Academy getting a vote for the poll.
Part of that magic as special teams play need to be magical for LeFlore as they're able to punt that ball away and kind of flip the field a little bit and going to make the Citronelle Wildcats probably drive some 56 yards to score a touchdown.
Lastly, we'll take a look at the 4A poll. UMS right on top, no surprise right there. Big ball game tomorrow night with UMS right and Williamson. Hillcrest Evergreen sitting right at number 3. Andalusia at number 9 in the state and picking up some votes here locally in our area. Neal with 6, and also Williamson Lions picking up 6 votes, Corey, on Escambia County and Clark County. So a lot of local regional teams in 4A getting some votes here to get into that poll. Probably one of the toughest regions in the state as well, that 4A ball. Joffrey Hutcherson around the left end behind that tackle. Left tackle, he brings it maybe close to the line of scrimmage. I don't know if he's going to even get credit for a yard, Corey.
They've done a good job of kind of containing him. He got loose a little bit early in the first quarter and has kind of chipped away, but he's not really gashed this LeFlore defense for any big yardage situations. The longest run that was given up by the Rattlers tonight was, to me, over 28 yards early in the first quarter by Justin Johnston. So, again, this defense is really keyed on Hutcherson to make sure he doesn't beat them.
All right, he has 2 touchdowns, but you're right, the yardage doesn't seem to be there. But we do have 4 quarters to play, 2:13 remaining here in the third quarter. Jarvis gets it out to the receiver, threw it to him before he could turn around on a little timing route, cannot connect with Daniel Manley. It takes Citronelle to third down.
It's going to be 2 minutes remaining on that incomplete pass by the Citronelle Wildcats. Going to bring up third down and 11 yards to go. LeFlore's defense has done a good job on this particular possession of not allowing a lot of time to tick off of the clock and holding the Wildcats at bay right here around midfield. If they're able to get a stop right here, they'll be able to get that football back with plenty of time to have an opportunity to score.
Citronelle with trips at the bottom of the screen. Justin Johnson in the backfield. Jarvis throws that ball incomplete, and coming up limping, Aaron Peoples. Maybe he couldn't stretch out for it, Corey. He just limps off to the sideline there.
Again, this is Citronelle's third played game because they had a bye last week, and a lot of their starters have got a lot of rest due to the blowouts that they've had in week 0 and week 1 in high school football. It's going to bring the punter out, and the punter for the Citronelle Wildcats is Caston Reed. 2 backs deep for LeFlore. They should be able to set up a good return here.
Holyfield and Jay Allen Gray back to receive. One name I haven't heard you call too many times tonight, but the defense is still seeming to band together. Derek Dugans, one of the impact players. We haven't called on him too many times tonight, Corey.
And that's something that doesn't happen often. We called him in the first kickoff, in the opening kickoff. He came down and made a special teams play. But so far, a lot of the action has been in the secondary level. A lot of the cornerbacks have had to make stops as well as defensive ends, and Dugans hasn't had an opportunity to be as active as he probably would like to be.
Flag is on the field. Rick Johnson with the call here.
Prior to the snap, legal substitution. 12 men on the field on defense, 5 yards. Replay, 4th down.
So those 5 yards go against the Rattlers. Interesting call right there. Ball just past the midfield stripe.
It's a fake.
And I'm not surprised at all that Caston Reed has executed the fake. He's going to be short. I thought one of the Rattlers was offsides at the top of the screen. I don't see any flags. I think Reed is going to be short, maybe 1 or 2 yards, Corey, but I'm not surprised with that call, giving Jason Barnett the extra 5 yards. Why not go for it? You're up 28-14.
Yeah, it was 4th down and 11 yards to go prior to that penalty, and that just shortened the field a little bit. You would have made the LeFlore Rattlers drive a little bit further down the field had you decided to go ahead and put toe to level. together. But now the LeFlore Rattlers, hopefully, let's see if your coach Schamberger, you're trying to tell your offense right now, guys, this is the opportunity to seize, execute right here on this drive with 1:38 remaining here in the third quarter. Let's get a score right here and put that Wildcat offense right back on the field.
Yeah, that last drive, last series didn't produce anything significant for the Rattlers. Looked as if Coach Schamberger went to the old play charts and did a lot of run plays, but didn't get anything. But right now, he's got Petway wide open, and Belfont connects with him at about the 30-yard line. Big play for the Rattlers. They're striking right now, trying to get to the red zone.
Good timing situation for LeFlore as you look at the replay. Belfont eyed down his receiver the entire time, knowing exactly who he wanted to go to, and Petway. Petway's able to pick up the first down and move the sticks for LeFlore.
Ball being placed at the 28-yard line of Citronelle. LeFlore on the move, only down 2 scores right here in the ball game. Hand off to Holyfield, and it looks as if we're going to have a penalty before the snap.
Pre-snap penalty, one of those mental miscues that LeFlore wants to stay away from.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5 yards, replay first down.
Well, the Rattlers will eat 5 yards right here, and we'll call it 1st and 15 as they're pushed back to about the 33-yard line.
And now, again, Hezekiah Belfont just needs to make sure he doesn't take a sack, gets the ball out of his hands, or throws the ball away and doesn't turn it over.
Belfont trying to go across the middle and does connect, gets that ball out to Demir Smith, the freshman, and he hauls it in, Corey. I believe that's enough for a first down, and the Rattlers are inside the red zone.
Not the first time tonight that Belfont has gone to Demir Smith. Just takes his time, throws it right down the seam over the outstretched arms of the defender, and is able to pick up another LeFlore first down with 1 minute remaining here in the third quarter.
Nice pass by Belfont. Can the Rattlers get on the board and score for the second time here in the third quarter to get within 1 score? He's got Petway at the end zone. Petway catches it, leaps into the end zone, flag on the play, and the official signals touchdown to the Rattlers. So is that a 15-yard touchdown? Let's see if it stands. Possibly will.
I think
looked like
it
was some contact against Citronelle there.
Good replay look right here by our crew. You look at the big wide receiver at 6'4", going up to get it, outstretches his arms and able to come away with the touchdown is DeAndre Petway. Coach Schamberger knew it was 6 points because he immediately signaled for Belfont to come to the sidelines and try to figure out what they wanted to run, whether they wanted to go for 2 or whether they wanted to kick the extra point. The kicking game has been a little suspect, to say the least, by the Rattlers.
Have a touchdown. Pass interference on the defense. Penalty being enforced on the kickoff.
And that's a big play by LeFlore, but none bigger coming right here than this 2-point conversion with 50 seconds remaining. That was a quick strike.
It was.
By LeFlore, and they scored in less than 1 minute.
Rattlers in the pistol formation. Holyfield in the backfield trying to connect with Petway again for the 2-point try. And that is no good. So the score 28-20. It's getting live here in the third quarter as we approach the fourth quarter. Don't move. We'll be back with more action. It's the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
Hi, I'm Todd.
And I'm Terry, and we'd like to invite you to join us as we take a look at nature in ways that you've never seen before.
Come travel with us as we go coast to coast to uncover some of the most interesting animals.
And some of the most beautiful scenery that's offered outdoors.
You can join us on our nature adventures right here on the MCPSS TV network.
Welcome back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. I'm Al Wheaton, joined by Corley Bounty in the booth. On the sidelines, Kimberly Dunn. And LeFlore has cut the lead to 8. 28-20, Citronelle on top. Corey, can the Rattlers do this comeback right here? Right now, they got a situation where they're kicking off at the Citronelle 45-yard line due to that penalty.
Coach Schamberger talked about it at halftime with Kimberly. Just needed to catch the ball, execute on offense, get a stop on defense, and now momentum is in favor of the Rattlers.
All right, Citronelle bringing that ball up to about the 20-yard line. A Rattler comes out of the pile, but I believe he is marked down by contact, but also down. Some more yellow laundry, Corey, and we have seen a lot of yellow flags in the third quarter here.
Yeah, we know it's been raining, and those flags have been hitting the ground a lot, so they're definitely going to be dirty and have to go to the cleaners after this game is over. But 36 seconds remaining. That's going to be a block in the back called against the Wildcats, going to cost them half the distance of where it was received from, and that's going to spot the ball right at the 11-yard line of the Wildcats. LeFlore
illegal
has
block in the back during the
timeouts
return.
remaining.
10 yards, first down.
Take a look at the replay here as Ricky Williams kicks the ball off. We may be able to catch that block in the back. Didn't see it exactly there, but we saw the result as the penalty is assessed. And Citronelle starts on the 10-yard line rather than the 20.
And what LeFlore wants to stay away from is allowing the Citronelle Wildcats to drive 90 yards to get a touchdown. I mean, there's 27 seconds remaining here in the third quarter, an entire fourth quarter left to play, but there's going to be another penalty flag down.
Now, Corey, we've had scoring in every quarter of the ball game, but I believe we've had more flags in the third quarter than we have had for the ball game so far.
Yeah, again, it's just a situation to where there's been mental miscues by both teams as they're going to the notepads or the officials trying to figure out, making sure they assess the correct distance on the foul that is called. I don't think there'll be an ejection called because anytime they go to the notepads and they start writing names and numbers or numbers, sometimes it looks like it could possibly be an unsportsmanlike with an ejection type situation. So it'll be interesting to see what Rick Johnson comes away with.
On the dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense. 15 yards, first down.
So the Rattlers give the Wildcats 15 yards and puts them at about the 31-yard line, 1st and 10, Corey. And they don't have the pressure of being backed up against that goal line anymore.
Yeah, you had them pinned back deep in their own territory at the 11-yard line. This will be the last play of the third quarter. If you're LeFlore, you just want to find a way to hold on.
Jarvis hands off to Hutcherson. He's got room. He picks up maybe 7 or 8, and that will be the last play of the third quarter as the clock ticks down. Don't move. We have one more quarter of action left. It's the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
At Mobile County Public Schools, we believe it starts with us. That's why we offer Signature Academies.
Hello, I'm Jordan Clark, and I'm in the Health Service Academy at John L. LeFlore Magnet High School. My future career is to be an obstetrician gynecologist. With this academy, I'm learning firsthand from people already working in the industry. Shadowing them on the job really makes me want to study hard and work harder towards my career goals.
Signature Academies are open to all students in Mobile County Public High Schools. Visit mcpss.com.
As Alabama's first and largest school system,
Mobile County Public Schools prides itself
on the high quality of education we provide our students.
We have been successful over the years in raising our graduation rates
and have been recognized nationally for closing achievement gaps.
We believe that our primary focus is to educate all students to become productive citizens.
This is our commitment to them and to you.
We welcome you back to the legendary Ladd-Peebles Stadium for the fourth quarter of the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week between Citronelle and LeFlore. I'm Al Whedon, Corey Bounty by my side. On the sidelines is Kimberly Dunn. The score is 28-20. And Corey, I just looked at my watch. It says 9:18, and I said, wait a minute, how can it be? And you threw up your hand, and guess what? It's all those yellow flags from the third quarter.
Yeah, we have a whole quarter left to go, but the amount of flags by both teams, whether it was personal fouls or unsportsmanlike or holding, whatever the case may be, we pretty much had and ran the gamut of any penalty that could be called there in the third quarter.
You're right about that. We had 2 touchdowns scored, both by LeFlore, 2-yard run by Chris Holyfield, a 15-yard touchdown pass to DeAndre Petway, and Citronelle had a 35-yard field goal from Caston Reed. But in between there, we had a lot of penalties. But right now, we're not at 28-20 as the direct snap to Hutcherson on the Wildcat for the Wildcats, and he gets up to about the 45-yard line, but he gets a first down.
And that's somebody that LeFlore definitely has the key on. Well, you mentioned it earlier. He does have 2 touchdowns rushing the football, but you don't want this young man to gain all of his yards in the fourth quarter. And you've done a good job of containing him. Anytime he goes to the Wildcat, he's probably not going to throw the ball. You just want to make sure that you hold him to negative yards or keep him from getting beyond the line of scrimmage in order to go ahead and try to get the football back.
And now the Wildcat formation again, but they switch up and they bring in Justin Johnston. They fake the jet sweep. Johnston keeps it. Running laterally right now, but he heads back up and picks up maybe 3 or 4. We'll call it 2nd and about 6 for the Wildcats.
Javon George makes the stop for the LeFlore defense. The linebacker, 5'9", 185-pound senior, brings up 2nd down and 6 yards to go for the Wildcats from their own 49-yard line.
Don't sleep on Justin Johnson. He came into tonight's ball game with 18 carries for 139 yards, averaging 7.7 yards a carry, and picked up the first score for the Wildcats tonight. And it was his first touchdown of the season, as he is still in charge right now. 2nd and 6. The Wildcats on the move. They do hand off the jet sweep this time, and around the edge going, picking up the first down and more yardage. Jamarcus Robinson, big gain for Citronelle.
That's a huge first down gain by the Wildcats. 10:35 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Anytime the Wildcats are able to move and get a fresh set of downs, that's going to be big.
Looks like we have an injured Rattler coming off on the sidelines right now. So we have to get a number on him, make sure he's checked out.
Looks like big number 90, Oswin Endlers.
So Endlers comes to the sideline. We'll get a substitution in for him. Right now, Citronelle in LeFlore territory, and they are sticking with Johnston in the Wildcat. Faking the jet sweep. Offensive coordinator Carl Herring continuing to call this play over and over again, Corey.
A designed lead play, a quarterback keeper the whole time. Just want us to go ahead and follow, hoping the LeFlore defenders get caught looking at the jet sweep. Sooner or later, you will hand that football off, but for the time being, they're just going to follow the lead blocker. The running back / quarterback Wildcat situation is doing that, trying to take precious time off of the clock.
Right, Coach Barnett playing the chess match right here. Let's keep the ball on the ground. Let's run. Why throw? Continue to run, and they're running. Joffrey Hutcherson right there, he maybe picked up 1 or 2. And it will take Citronelle to 3rd down. We'll call it maybe 3rd and 5, a long 5, maybe 3rd and 6.
Yeah, it's going to be 3rd down and maybe even 7 yards to go officially. It's a long down and distance situation, but one that LeFlore is knowing that they have to have a stop right here at their own 36-yard line, because 9 minutes remaining. You don't want another minute and a half to tick off of that clock if you're LeFlore. You've seen them go ahead and run this Wildcat this entire series. Joffrey Hutcherson is the man for the Wildcats.
So Ladd's calling it 3rd and 7. Hutcherson hands off the jet sweep. The ball is dropped by Jamarcus Robinson, but he falls on it, and that takes Citronelle the 4th down. That could be a critical error right there. And Citronelle looking like they are in no man's land, Corey. No need to punt it. You might as well go for it. But right now, the clock is their ally as it continues to tick, and they're up 14.
When that ball hit the turf, it's a situation with Joffrey Hutcherson. He's used to playing the Wildcat position as a quarterback, but not used to handing the football off on that jet sweep. The play prior to, they knew that the eye candy was going to go with the jet sweep, so he tried to hand it off. The ball hits the turf. The Wildcats are lucky that it didn't take a bad bounce, and LeFlore wasn't able to pounce on it, but 4th down and 13 yards to go. I believe Coach Barnett's going to call a timeout, get his troops together, and assess what he wants to do.
He did. He let the play clock run all the way down and burned the timeout right there with 8:03 remaining in the ball game. Talking about Joffrey Hutcherson, earlier says his game reminds most people of Ezekiel Elliott of the Cowboys, and the young man also runs track for the Wildcats as well. Very versatile player, Joffrey Hutchinson. Let's take it down to the sideline. The versatility of Kimberly Dunn. I see the poncho is off, Kim.
Yes, it is. That rain finally stopped after that first half, so I'm very thankful for that. But I wanted to give you a little bit of an update about that injury that we may have seen from number 90. It looked like it was just exhaustion that was really causing that. He was over here on the sidelines trying to raise his arms, catch his breath. He just is exhausted, and you can see that from this LeFlore team. When they're not in the stance to get started, they are taking a knee, getting a breath, because they are starting to get wore out in this football game. So we'll see if they can hang on for these next 8 minutes and maybe pull off the win tonight.
All right, thank you, Kimberly. Appreciate that. Defense coordinator Dwayne Hill for LeFlore trying to encourage his troops right there to see what they can do. They've kind of somewhat stopped. There's Oswin Endless right there getting checked out. They have somewhat kind of stopped Citronelle right here. It is 4th and 13, ball on the 41-yard line, and Jarvis is back into the ball game, Corey, at quarterback. Citronelle throwing it, trying to connect, does have a receiver, and it is incomplete. Could not get that ball brought in. Aaron Peoples in double coverage, and the Rattlers stand.
Yeah, if we take a look at that instant replay, good defense, but it was a good jump ball situation. You're hoping that maybe a defensive pass interference is called, or you let your big wide receiver go up and make that play, but a big stop by this LeFlore Rattler defense, only trailing by 8 points with 7:53 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Plenty of opportunities for the Rattlers to strike because, again, on their 2 scoring drives earlier, we saw them bleed the clock a lot and have success. But let's see if Belfon's able to get out of the pocket and make something positive happen.
1st and 10 for LeFlore. Handoff to Holyfield. He picks up a couple yards. Corey, you're right about that on their last scoring drive. I mean, in less than a minute, they got the touchdown in on Citronelle, so it can be done. The clock continues to move right here. No first down or no incomplete pass, so we will approach 7 minutes. It's 2nd and about 8 yards for the Rattlers.
And it being 2nd down and 8 yards to go, opportunity now for Belfon to make sure he throws this ball on the money if he decides to let it go.
Belfon has time. Can he escape the pocket? He does. Picks up maybe 2 or 3 on that scramble. Keeps the drive alive. It's 3rd down for LeFlore, and this is a drive where you cannot afford to punt. They don't pick it up here, Corey. I'm pretty sure it's 2-down territory right now because they need 2 scores to notch this game back up.
Yeah, I agree. You want to save those timeouts. The 2 timeouts that Anthony Schamberger has left, plus the Heat timeout, would be critical right here. 3rd down and 5 yards to go for LeFlore. Holyfield has been the guy that they like to go to, either him or DeAndre Petway in this situation.
Belfon back to throw, has a man wide open, and he does connect. And the Rattlers are on the move. He gets it out to Williams McGlaster. Corey, that's a big pickup for LeFlore. Ball at the 25-yard line.
Very impressed by the patience shown by Hezekiah Belfon. You look at that replay, just looks the ball away, looks the opposite way of where he wants to throw it, looks the safety off on the play. That's a good job of going to your second receiver and making sure that the defense can't read your eyes.
Most importantly, the clock stops to move the chains. 1st and 10, ball on the 25-yard line of Citronelle. LeFlore trying to drive to get points on the board, and driving up the middle, Christopher Holyfield, Mr. Everything for the Rattlers, picks up maybe 3 or 4 on the play, maybe 5 there. I think we'll be generous to give him 5 yards, so we'll call it 2nd and 5 here.
2nd down, 5 yards to go. Here for the Rattlers, a little under 6 minutes. The next, after this play right here, will be the official Heat timeout for LeFlore, but you want to make sure you don't turn the ball over. Citronelle looks like they're tired right now with their hands on their hips. LeFlore needs to try to capitalize.
I've noticed that Citronelle does play a lot of players 2 ways. Belfon has a lot of room, Corey. There's no one out there. Now the Wildcats trying to come down on him, but there's a flag on the play. we'll see what the officials have to say, but Belfont gets down about the 10-yard line.
Probably holding on Marquez Tatum, the left tackle, 6'3", 250-pound senior. I think that's going to be the call, because as soon as he threw his hands up, if we look at the replay, that's an automatic sign of guilt by the officials. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. That's exactly what he did on the play. Tatum threw his hands up to say it wasn't me, but you're going to go from 2nd down and 5, losing valuable yardage.
Right. And Belfont had all day to get around that corner, and he made his way around, but had a little assistance from Mr. Tatum there, and this one is coming back. So there's the call from referee Rick Johnson. So it'll remain 2nd down, but it'll be 2nd down at about 15 for the Rattlers.
On the offense, 10 yards from spot of the foul. Replay 2nd down. Heat timeout.
So there's our heat timeout right there. Citronelle on top 28-25, 31 remaining in the ball game. Let's take a look at the remaining schedule for the LeFlore Rattlers. We talked about the importance of this game tonight. It's a region game. LeFlore is 0-1 in the region. Lost last week to Faith Academy. They have a bye next week. Then they're at Saraland and at Viger. After the bye, then at Wilcox Central. Only 2 more home games remain for the Rattlers as they have opened up their season with 4 home games in a row. So, Corey, the importance of this game tonight is not more paramount. As you can see, LeFlore sitting right there 0-1 in the region.
You don't want to have 3 losses in a row. You mentioned the last time that occurred for the LeFlore Rattlers. You have plenty of time after this week to get yourself together, because you go into that bye. Then you go to Saraland, which is a non-region contest. And then you're right at Viger, at Wilcox, which is 2 more region contests. But now you're looking at a 2nd down and 23 yards to go. You don't need to get all these yards in one whop. You want to try to get probably maybe 10 to 13 yards here on 2nd down and another 5 to 7 on 3rd down.
So it is 4-down territory here for the Rattlers, the remaining of the ball game. That pass complete as the Rattlers continue to move. Williams, McGlasker, and Belfont have hooked up a few times tonight. One of the Rattlers looking injured, possibly
Williams McGlaster. And I want to say it looks like he got some of that turf in his eyes because, you know, it's made of rubber down there, and sometimes when you make that reception and you go down, it spews into your eyes.
Next week is Bryant versus Theodore. We'll have 7A action down in Bobcat territory. Don't forget, we go live at 6:55 with the MCPSS high school football game of the week. Next week, Bryant and Theodore. Belfont on the move. He's got enough room to get the 1st down. He got out of bounds. The clock does stop, but he's short of the 1st down. He's going to be close, maybe about 1 yard or 2 yards short.
Takes that big shot by running back / linebacker Joffrey Hutchinson. We didn't see him play both ways early, but now that the game has got down to the nitty-gritty time with 4:44 remaining here in the 4th quarter, he's having to play both ways. He's one of the most valuable players, but a big 4th down play coming up here for the LeFlore Rattlers at 4th down and 2 yards to go.
Belfont did one of his favorite moves. His game reminds people of Cam Newton, so he put on his Superman cape and went on down there and took one for the team. 4th and 2, as you just said, and Anthony Schamberger has called a timeout. Timeout right here. Let's take a look at Citronelle's remaining schedule as we have a break here, Corey. So they started off the season with 2 big wins against regional, I guess you'd call it regional rivalries up there in North Mobile County, Washington County, and Leroy. Won those decisively, took the bye last week. But as you notice, region game this week, region game next week, then they moved to Mary Montgomery. Then it's back to region play. And if you want to call it, that gauntlet is right there waiting for the Wildcats. Satsuma, Jackson, and Viger, then Wilcox Central. They're going to be region tight at the end of the season. So this game night just more important for Citronelle as it is for LeFlore.
Without question, and head coach Jason Barnett took this job in late July.
Right.
So the good thing is for the Citronelle faithful, he had already been a part of the staff for 4 years and knew this community. But there's a big difference when you slide over into the head coaching situation, as evident by Anthony Schamberger on this 4th and 2 call, as the LeFlore Rattlers now looking at the biggest play of the game.
Hand off to Christopher Holyfield, and Corey, He does not get the first down. And speaking of the biggest plays of the game, that is huge. Later on, we'll have our pigskin player of the game. 4 minutes, 38 seconds remaining here. And the decision may be tough. A lot has happened tonight to go into deciding who will be our pigskin player of the game.
Turnover on downs by the LeFlore Rattlers. 4:38 remaining in the fourth quarter. Only one timeout remaining for LeFlore.
So Citronelle takes over ball on downs right here at their own 19-yard line. We saw what they did last time. A lot of run, keep it on the ground. A lot of that Wildcat formation, and guess what? Who's back? Justin Johnston in the Wildcat.
You want to try to create some type of turnover here if you're LeFlore. You want to rip at the ball and make sure you try to get it away.
And too many guys stack the line and no one in the immediate secondary to cover, but Johnston falls down, Corey. He had nothing but green grass in front of him.
And that's one of the biggest things, that when you do load the box with 8 or 9 and he gets past that initial line of scrimmage, if he doesn't slip and fall, he's still running, and we're saying Citronelle touchdown. But the good thing for LeFlore is you're still only trailing 28-20, which is a one-score game.
That's right.
The bad thing is you're battling the scoreboard and the clock if you're a LeFlore fan.
We've had our heat timeout, and Anthony Schamberger only has one timeout remaining, and that was a first down for Citronelle, and the clock continues to move. Johnston in that Wildcat formation, fakes the jet sweep, decides to keep it. Picks up a couple here, and it'll take Citronelle to second down.
And Citronelle on this drive, if they're able to get it to fourth down, they'll be able to run this clock probably right down up to the 2:45 mark. LeFlore has to have a stop here on second down and 8 to keep and prevent the Wildcats from moving the sticks, because if Citronelle picks up a first down right here, they'll be able to bleed the clock down to a little under a minute 30.
Right. It's just coming down to simple math at this point, Corey. Longer you keep the ball, the more you're going to run that clock. And the floor, that does not help the Rattlers at all. Very exciting game we've had tonight, 28-20. This time, Joffrey Hutcherson keeps it. Look at him around the edge. He's forced out of bounds by the Rattlers. It stops the clock, but Corey, he takes out the first down marker as well. So let's see where we mark this at.
Probably third down and 1 yard to go, looking across the field if I have to do a guesstimate. You look at this situation, Joffrey Hutcherson, number 5, running high. He probably doesn't want to step out of bounds in that situation. The tackle made by Jamal Irby by the LeFlore Rattlers.
That was a big run right there for Citronelle. 3rd and 1. Ball sitting solidly at the 38-yard line of Citronelle with 3:17 remaining in the contest. Carl Herring continuing to play the chess match, swapping out his quarterbacks for this Wildcat formation, and Johnston slips on the turf. Corey, look at there. He had opportunity early, a lot of green, and he slipped right there, but the clock moves.
LeFlore decides not to call the timeout with 3 minutes left to go here in the fourth quarter. Going to bring up 4th down and 5 yards to go for Citronelle from their own 34-yard line. They're going to have to pump the football here, and the Rattlers are going to have life and be able to execute their 2-minute drill.
That's right. So at one point, Citronelle was up 25-6 in the third quarter. LeFlore picks up 2 touchdowns. Also, Citronelle kicks a field goal. Nice punt by Caston Reed there. Goes all the way down to the LeFlore 23-yard line, but there is a flag on the play on the LeFlore side of the field.
Probably right at the 38-yard line is that yellow penalty flag, something we've seen a lot of here in the second half. And from where it was thrown, I would think it would be some type of holding, maybe on one of the gunners of the Wildcats, but we'll let the white hat, Mr. Johnson, figure it out and let us know exactly what the penalty is. If it's against the Rattlers, they're going to have to execute their 2.5-minute drill to perfection.
So it's a hold against LeFlore, so that will push them back farther into their own territory. As you just said, Corey, the 2.5-minute drill, we're about to see it right now.
We have holding. On the return team, 10 yards, into the kick, first down.
So it's all going to come down to this for LeFlore. One timeout remaining, so Coach Sandberger was able to hold on to that one timeout. And ball placed right there at the 21-yard line.
Well, we've seen Hezekiah Belfon have success throwing the football throughout tonight's contest, right in between the numbers toward the middle of the field. Let's see if he goes right back to it.
Pocket collapse, and Belfon trying to escape, cannot, gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and the clock continues to move. You can see Anthony Schamberger right there looking at his play sheet, trying to get the call in. LeFlore not substituting players in, bringing in the play. He's just yelling it out to Belfon and saying, hurry up, let's go. Clock approaching 2 minutes here.
Al, you have to play with passion and purpose and play quickly right here. You can't let the play clock run down to 5 seconds before you snap this football.
10 seconds on the play clock. Belfon across the middle. Gets it to Demir Smith. He does not get out of bounds. He is in bounds, and that clock is running, and he's short of the first down. Takes LeFlore to third down.
You have to quickly get that play in. You mentioned it earlier. Hezekiah comes over almost to the numbers to get the play in, and that takes a little bit too long. You need to be able to signal those in a little bit faster and get on that football and get the ball snapped.
Third and about 3 here for the Rattlers. Big play, Corey. They need to continue this drive. Getting the first down would stop the clock momentarily. Belfon rolls out. He's got time. He's got a man. And it is hauled in. Derek Williams McGlaster at the 40-yard line of Citronelle. The pitch and catch from Belfon to McGlaster. That's what the Rattlers needed right there.
Great way to extend this play. Belfon rolls out to his right, knows exactly where he wants to throw it. The defender gets spun around on the play. That's Daniel Manley, allows McGlaster to get behind him. LeFlore is able to pick up a first down with 1:07 remaining.
28-20, the Rattlers in Citronelle territory. Ball on the 40-yard line. And they're on the move trying to strike to possibly set up to tie this ball game. Belfon has Williams McGlaster wide open. He can't get out of bounds. He is brought down. It takes LeFlore to second down. Daniel Manley on the tackle right there.
And again, you don't want these valuable seconds to get away. There's going to be a timeout called on this play, which is going to stop the clock by the Wildcats. 50 seconds remaining as the Wildcats, I do believe, are going to take their first timeout of the second half.
Well, Ladd has it with 2 right there. I believe it possibly could be, Corey, but we shall see. But I think it's a smart move by Jason Barnett. His kids kind of backpedaling on the ropes, give them a breather. Also talk about what's most important. Time and distance and situational play is very important right now for both of these teams. At second down, what about 2nd and 3, maybe 2nd and 4 yards for LeFlore? And you just want to go through the scenarios with your defense and your offense as well.
Well, here's the thing for the LeFlore Rattlers. No matter what you call, you must quickly be thinking about the next play that you want to call, because at 2nd and 3, no matter what happens, whether it's a first down or an incompletion, you have to quickly get that next play in, because you're definitely in 4-down territory. And the LeFlore Rattlers have to capitalize off of this clock management. You don't want valuable seconds to run off the clock with 50 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. You automatically want to be thinking to the next play, and it's going to be important because offensive coordinator Anthony Schamberger is that guy for Hezekiah Belfon to look over to him and get that play quickly from his head coach.
All right, here it is, 2nd and 3 for the Rattlers. Ball on the 33-yard line of Citronelle. Belfon has time. He has room. He could pick up the first down, but he doesn't. He sets up and throws that ball into the end zone, incomplete. No flags on the play. Tried to hook up with DeAndre Petway. You could probably say that's his favorite receiver. They're in the same class, both sophomores. It's 3rd and 3 for the Rattlers.
And because of that, you look at Belfon rolling out, and it's a good job. He's lucky that ball was not intercepted, but LeFlore will live to fight another down. It's 3rd down and 3 as Petway was not able to come away with that. It's 3rd and 3. You can still get the first down and get a fresh set of downs, which will stop the clock. So I think that's important that LeFlore understands that they don't have to go ahead and go into the end zone right here. They can still pick up the first down, and the clock will stop for them.
You have 2 downs to get 3 yards here. Play it smart. And a fumble on the ground. The snap. Belfon tries to reach out to get the first down. He is short, Corey, and the clock is running. I think Anthony Schamberger may have to burn the timeout right here to stop and regroup.
Biggest play of the game now at 4th down and 2 yards to go. We saw the Rattlers turn the ball over on downs and a couple possessions ago.
That's right.
Now at 4th and 2, with the ball probably being spotted right at the 32-yard line, it's a situation to where this is the game.
This is the game. Low snap right there from Michael McCants. Michael Robinson McCants to Belfon. The ball on the ground, Corey, and Belfon tried to stretch out, but he only got it back to the line of scrimmage. I thought he may have gotten a yard there, so you're right. It is 4th and 2, and this is it for the Rattlers. A big night tonight, inducting 4 former players into the Wall of Fame, but the Rattlers right now trying to inject the venom and get a win. They need it bad. 0-1 in the region. You don't want to go 0-2 into your bye week.
Well, here it is, 4th down and 2 yards to go. It's been a flag fest here at Lad Peoples Stadium at the second half, but this game has turned out to be a barn burner. 28-20, the Wildcats are leading. It's all going to come down to this 4th down play for LeFlore.
All right, here it is. The rubber's meeting the road. LeFlore 4th and 2. Belfon with the quick pass to Petway. It's incomplete. Ball over on downs. And it appears as if Citronelle is going to lock it up, but you never know. You got to play it out. Let's take a look at the replay. He had Petway just through the fingertips, Corey, incomplete.
Just a little bit too high for the 6'4" Petway. Wasn't able to come down with it, and it's the exact play call that you wanted if you're the LeFlore Rattlers. And the Citronelle Wildcats will take a knee and try to take this win, a big win for Citronelle, as they are going to start off 3-0 after being 5-5 a year ago.
All right, Corey, who do you want to put in for your pigskin player of the game tonight?
I think you really have to go with Joffrey Hutcherson. I think that, again, he played both sides of the football, had a couple of touchdowns, even though they were short yardage situations, a 12-yard run and a 5-yard touchdown run. I still think that he's the guy coming in that was an impact player and has made the biggest difference.
All right, your pigskin player of the game, Joffrey Hutcherson for Citronelle. Talked about it earlier and said his game reminds most people of Ezekiel Elliott. He also runs track for the Wildcats as well. Very versatile young man. Also learned at media days, as Coach Barnett said, he's the best kept secret in South Alabama as the clock ticks to 0 and Citronelle gets the win 28-20. Very exciting ball game, Corey. At one point, Citronelle was up 25-6 over the Rattlers, and they make a little comeback here in the third quarter, picking up 2 touchdowns and trying to narrow this game to get it close, but they come out on the losing end, and they suffer their second region loss tonight.
Yeah, if you were LeFlore, you wanted to eliminate mental miscues and penalties, and you just weren't able to do that. You had 2 special teams that, in the situation to where they punted the ball, one went over the snapper's head, and the other situation to where the punt went off the back of one of the LeFlore defenders.
Sure did.
They wanted to wear down the Wildcats, weren't able really to do that, and they wanted to wrap up and just weren't able to do that tonight also. So it's a good win for the Citronelle Wildcats as they go to 1-0 in region play, and also the LeFlore Rattlers now drop to 0-2 in 5A Region 1.
All right, speaking of the Wildcats, Kimberly Dunn is down on the field with winning coach Jason Barnett, and maybe she might have our pigskin player of the game as well.
Congratulations on the win, Coach. What does this Region 1 game win mean to you and your team?
It's huge for us. It's huge for us. We knew it was going to be a battle. Those guys are too talented for to just lay down. And at the half, we thought we were up at a decent amount at that point. But get all the credit in the world, Coach Sham and them. They play football, and they're very talented. And we're very fortunate to get out of here with a win.
Yeah, so what does your team need to improve on to prepare for next week's game?
I think we came out a little sluggish, to be totally honest with you. You know, they hit us in the mouth, and nobody's hit us in the mouth yet. So the biggest thing was we actually played 4 full quarters tonight, you know, and from a conditioning standpoint and all that good fun stuff, you know, that's big for us down the road. So.
Yeah. All right, well, congratulations again, Coach.
Thank y'all so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Kimberly. Coach Barnett told me that before the game, Corey. He said we've played pretty much a couple of quarters of ball. I pulled my starters and let the younger guys get reps, but he had to play 4 full quarters tonight.
Yeah, that was the biggest situation for the Citronelle Wildcats. They had to have great conditioning because their starters got a lot of rest in the first 2 contests because they were blowouts. They were sitting out the second half, but tonight they were taken to the limit. They showed the character. They showed that they were going to find a way to win, and they did, Al.
They sure did. They got the win tonight, 28-20 for Corley Bounty. Kimberly Dunn down on the sidelines. Quentin Howard, our executive producer, and the entire MCPSS production crew, we thank you for joining us for tonight's action. Next week, we're headed down to Bobcat Country. It's the Bryant and Theodore battle next Friday, a battle of South Mobile next week for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Thanks for joining us. You have a great night.